Nope, I did that wrong. Hey, there it is. Gotta have the light bulb. Gotta have the light bulb. How are you doing, sir? It is the great. And I'll make sure. Yeah, I'm doing it right. The great Raider Fester. Give him love. Give him love. How you doing, brother?
Doing great. Doing great. Looks like we got some feedback coming in here.
Oh, oh. It's been a
Oh,
while since I've been on, so maybe I need to. It's times like this that I wish that what is it, Raider Homer was still around, and I'm not that he's dead. He's not dead. It's just that Raider Homer has been just he's not been out as well as he has, and I love Raider Homer, and I love all that he gave to it, but he was definitely a man that could fix all your audio shit. So good that. But now, who is this? Oh, Ellis Animation and Gaming. Okay, I I know you. I'm sure because you wouldn't be here otherwise. Let me put that comment up. Uh, Salute to you and welcome to the show. I probably know you by another name, but unfortunately, I haven't been able to figure out. They said that there's a way to put the names on there instead of the @ signs. I don't know how to unfuck that. So I apologize there. Oh, I said an F word within the first 10 minutes. Maybe we won't get monetized. Oh, well. But
oh well.
Matt Marinovich is here. Good to see Matt. And Bial, I see. I know who Bial is. This is Bial. And ahoy to everybody. And then Jack Westafeste. Oh, almost always the first one on. He would get a prize if we were doing things like, what is it? God, I'm brain farting my buddy's name from that was out there in Cali. Then he went to Arizona. He's got his wife. Man, I'll think of it in a minute.
It'll come to you at 2 a.m.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and I guess there are things like where you're moving neurons, and I've lost that. Took pics of my other son. Oh, okay, yeah. This is the gentleman, I believe, if I have who it is, that I took pictures with him, and get this. He said, "Hey, are you this guy?" And he has a picture of me from like the last time we were in Arizona, which would have been like 8 years ago. And I took a picture with his son. And then I took a picture with his son in Houston the following year. And then I took a picture with his son at the Modelo lot. And I do have him on my phone. I just got to say, like a time passage thing. And it's cool because it's the same young son taken, in different years. And Eric, okay, good. Thank you there, Mr. Eric. And yeah, see, he says my man. So I figured it out. Like I said, I do know newer people that when they pop in. So thank you, sir. I will do that. You'll see it on like Facebook and Instagram, a collage of me getting a lot older and his son getting older too, but growing up where I'm just growing out and growing old. Okay, in a good thing. So
Jack, you'll always be younger than me.
Yeah, but I'll still look older than you because you'll always be younger looking than me. So there you go.
Oh, I hope you can hear me. My audio just went out.
I hear you.
I
hear
have
you.
to disconnect my. I can't hear you. Let me do this. Let me take my earbuds out and just go on the through the computer feed. Hang on one second.
Okay.
Was here.
That what the feedback was from when you were talking about feedback? Fester's getting his shit squared away. So nope, I can't hear you yet. You might have to pop out and pop back. Let's see. Hey, this is fun. This is some of the things that you do when you do a live show. And I wish I had like the Jeopardy theme. We could do that. Okay. Okay, let's see if we're gonna. Fester, can you hear me? Okay, but I can't hear you. Yep, your mic is not working. You want to pop out and then pop back in? Oh, now he's frozen. That's not a good look. Oh man. And salute to Chewy's in here. Salute to Chewy. Salute to Eric. Salute to the Raider Way. Yeah. Oh, my phone is loud as fuck. I better turn that shit down. Hang on a second. While we're doing that, Fester's froze, and I got to turn my phone. Got to turn my phone down. Let's do this. Not bad. It sounds okay. There we go. Put it on mute. There we go. I knew it vibrates. Vibrates fine. Yeah, okay, good. Vibrate. There you go. And Cool Kev's in here. Good to see you. For those that are figuring this shit out, there you go. He pooped, and I didn't kick him, but I would have done that anyway. In a little minute. For those of you that are wondering what the fuck I'm watching right now, I'm actually watching PT 109. Why? Because it's on. And, I do love old movies. And there's this one channel here. It's like 24-hour movies. And it's over the airwaves. So it's really cool. And so PT 109 is on now. And then after this, if I remember from the highlights what was going on, they're going up. That's I got it. That gets surprised right now. There we go. I heard Fester pop back in. If you missed it, this is for you, Fester. It said Fester froze up like Gino at the line of scrimmage.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now, and you deserve a full screen on that. People don't have to look at my ugly face, but yeah, that's true.
I'm coming back in, so I'll go with the light bulb again.
There you go. There he is, the great Raider Fester, who can hear me now. More
importantly, you can hear me.
Yes, that is an important thing. And what you missed while you were gone was, I said, because there's really nothing on, although Boston Blue will be on at 10, but I like that show. But in the meantime, I'm watching a movie channel that's free movies. It's PT 109, and then after this, it's Von Ryan's Express. So 60 year, and it just so happens it's a back-to-back war movie thing. So I'm gonna enjoy watching this tonight. But first off, we have Fester on for about an hour.
Yep. And
that's cool. And then if all goes well, hopefully I'm gonna cross my fingers. Hopefully we'll have Johnny Mad Bomber Sousa in here. And so we'll have a good full 2-hour slot, maybe more. It depends on who's saying what. But
so Jack, I don't want to. What do you want to know, and where do we jump off?
Well, you're first off, I want to get as much of you as I can. I'm going to shut up for a little bit. I already said I'm talking about the movies. Sharif just came in here, so we're good to go. And then also my buddy down in South Florida is also here as well. So I'm going to shut up. So wait, before we go into the subjects of the day, which is on the title, and I know we're going to have a shit ton of that from now until the end of the season. We're going to be talking about that, but I'll figure we'll do, but we'll do it in increments. Go ahead. And Fester says It Takes a Thief with Robert. Oh yeah, that was a great show. Show. Yeah, It Takes a Thief, man. That was yeah. That's what that kind of started, wasn't it? Pretty much the start of Robert Wagner's career. I think so.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, late 60s. He started mid 60s, but yeah.
Yeah, that was his takeoff. Takeoff. So speaking of taking off, see a great segue there.
Taking off.
There you go. For those that are wondering, First off, the elephant in the room, other than me being the elephant in the room, a family member of mine had an operation yesterday, which precluded me from traveling. So I want to tell everybody, for those that were wondering, the operation was successful, and they will be discharged tomorrow. So that's a good thing. But because it was right close to the weekend, and it would have been better for me not to have traveled. I turned in my ticket. I turned in I even got my hotel reservation points back. So that was nice.
Nice.
And that turned out. Oh, and the other thing was, in the Hilton, I had like a free night that was going to be like taken off the boards like by Saturday. And the guy gave me like an extension on that, which was really cool. So bravo. I mean, people will work with you when there's shit going on. So I'm going to get that free reservation, and I'll probably use it on my way to Vegas. I'll probably stop by somewhere and then spend a night there, and then I'll fly to Vegas on another trip. So great. Anyway, your thoughts on this wonderfully messed up. I don't think I've used the term sucked yet. I'm waiting, but it's going to come out soon. This wonderfully messed up and really aggravatingly horrible team that is your Las Vegas Raiders. And you can talk about the last game. You can talk about it's all running through. I still haven't seen the Monday night bullshit.
Yeah.
Was that
let's go all the way back. Let's go all the way back to the beginning of the year. All right.
Okay.
I've got a fundamental issue here. When you roll out the red carpet at the beginning of the year, you cannot tell your fan base two things at the same time. You cannot tell your fan base we're in a rebuild and then turn right around and tell them we're going to win now.
Yep.
You can't do both. When you do both, you're going to fail miserably. And that's what's happened. From the outset, we set two things. We said, okay, we're in a rebuild and we're going to win now. We brought a coach in who's going to win now. We're not going to wait. And that has been fool's gold. That has sold us a bad bill of goods. And I look back through, and when I went back and tracked all the free agents that the Raiders brought in over the course of the offseason, they only brought in one offensive lineman. And you know who that offensive lineman is.
Alex Crappa.
Exactly. They brought in myriad defensive tackles and safeties and a couple of linebackers. They brought in a quarterback, some defensive backs, but they only brought in one offensive lineman. And Jack, you and I are going to go down with this ship, but I will go down swinging that you have to start building your team with an offensive line. You have to. And I'm looking at two key free agents that are going to be available in 2026. And again, I'm already looking ahead now. And it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter to me what position the Raiders draft in. I'm not counting on them drafting in any position. I'm assuming that they're going to draft in the top 10. We're just assuming at that point right now. But I'm looking ahead to free agency and picking up at least one, if not two, offensive linemen. Do what we need to do. And then I'm looking at 2 first rounders and a second rounder, or 1 first rounder and 2 second rounders. You have to get a rookie quarterback this year. I don't care. People can say what they want, but you have to go ahead and bite the bullet and do it. The Raiders have not done it for years. They need to go ahead and do this. I've heard other quarterbacks that could be available for this amount or that amount. No. If there've been failures in other places, their chances are they're not going to do much better in Las Vegas. But regardless of who you bring in as a quarterback, you've got to have protection. Now, there could be a hope that both Caleb Rogers and or Grant can make it from this past year's group. I'm thinking that they go ahead and need to think about kicking DJ Glaze over to left tackle. I think Colton Miller's done. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think he's done. They paid him a boatload of money, but even if he does come back, do you really trust that? So you've got Dylan Parham, you've got JPJ coming back, and of course, if JPJ comes back, do you go ahead and commit to him as center? Do you commit to him as guard? Do you play around with him and try to move in both places and not and get things settled? What do? This offensive line didn't have a plan. You need to have, and again, I'm thinking, and if I'm the GM, I'm saying that 2 of the first 3 picks that we make in this coming draft have to be defensive line. Or excuse me, offensive line. So it could be offensive line and then quarterback and then other offensive linemen, or you go ahead and draft your quarterback first and then get your 2 offensive linemen there. But either way, I think you need to get 2 offensive linemen drafted in this round. Hopefully, JPJ will bounce back. Hopefully, DJ Glaze will still be in the mix, and hopefully, those 2 rookies from this year will be in there as well. But the 2 guys I've got my eyes on, and it could be either or, 1A, 1B, or both. One is the guy who is right now targeted as the number 2 guy on the free agent list, and his name is Cody Linderbaum from the Vikings. He's the center. He is a stud. He's only 26 years of age. He's going to command a big salary. But again, if you look at trying to establish a bona fide player and put him in the middle of that offensive line, then Kyle Linderbaum will be your guy. The other guy that I'm thinking of is Rasheed Walker. He's an offensive tackle from Green Bay. He's going to command a big, big salary. He's an offensive tackle. You can plug him in at either right side or left side. He is a top 25 offensive tackle or prospect as well. So again, those are 2 guys there I'm thinking of.
The only problem I have with Rasheed Wallace is that he gets in foul trouble way too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
He gets too many technicals.
He gets too many technicals. He gets too many fouls. So he'd be gone by about the second series of the first quarter. He'd be ejected because he'd have his 6 fouls or penalty, as it is, and a couple technicals. Yeah, there you go.
But he would have a stylish headband on under his helmet.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would. Or a good or a really cool do-rag.
Yeah. But that's what you got to do, Jack. I've heard lots of different stories about quarterbacks. The guy I like still, and I've heard lots of different. I'm sorry, yeah, Linderbaum is a Ravens center, and he will be a free agent next year. He is going to go and get a lot of money. He will. He's just simply not going to be affordable at that point. Now, the Vikings could pony up a good offer, but here's what I'm thinking: if you bring in, and again, this is this is me laying out my wish list. I'm hoping that Pete Carroll goes ahead and retires. I hope it comes to the point where he's going to say, "Okay, I gave it a shot. I'm done. I'm not going to do this again. I'm going to retire." That would be the best of both worlds. The worst would be, okay, Mark's going to go ahead and have to fire him, or Spytek will have to fire him. And if that's the point, we need to do what we should have done before, and that's bring in a new regime and start and build it the way it should have been built. Now, if you bring in a young offensive mind and you pair that up with a young quarterback on a rookie contract, then you can start making some hay. It may not be right away, but at least you can start making some progress. You've seen teams do this. Teams don't bring in a 73-year-old retread head coach and tell half the fan base you're going to rebuild and tell half the fan base you're going to win now and expect things to happen. They've got some really good pieces. Michael Mayer is a good piece. Brock Bowers is one of the preeminent pieces that we've seen. And when the Raiders get him involved early and often, of course, right off the bat, 18-yard pass play, right out of the gate. And the Raiders are moving the ball. But they haven't been able to commit to the run. They've got a really, really good stud running back who's going to get either torn up, injured. At this point, I'd say, Genty, look, we're going to save you for next year. We're just going to go ahead and shut you down and not risk an injury. And again, people would say at that point the Raiders are tanking. I'm saying let's just save him for next year, not get him just killed.
It's not tanking if it's preservation. And before you go on to your next point, by the way, Sharif, because you know I love you, and you know that I will go yay, nay, or otherwise. No, I don't want to trade Max Crosby, but we are talking about a quarterback and an alignment. That I agree with. And by the way, for those thinking that it's only Fester that says this shit, I am on record. I am on record with Peggy last week or the week before saying that the first round and the second round, I'm getting 2 offensive linemen. So I already said that, okay? And Fester agrees with me, and I'm glad he does. But I also said to get a quarterback by trading up into the first round or back up into the top of the second round and get a quarterback there. So I'm using collateral. I'm using stuff to do, but in the first 3 picks, either 1 and 1A or 1, 2A, and 2, I'm getting 2 offensive linemen and a quarterback. I want that on the record because people think I'm fucking dumb and I didn't think of it. I said it. Fester said it. We all said it. Okay? 2 O linemen and a quarterback. And oh, by the way, that is, and I also said with 2 free agent offensive linemen, you fucking build that and we go from there. So go ahead, Fester. I'm to make sure that you got your
not just that, not just 2 offensive linemen, but 2 that are in their prime. You don't go out and get some guy who's in his 30s. I mean, again, that would just be like Colton Miller. You get somebody who's got some age to give, and somebody who's got a proven track record, and somebody who has been pretty stable. Both of those guys are. And again, I think if we can commit to that, if you can bring in a new young guy who's got lots of energy. Now, again, Pete Carroll has lots of energy, that's true, but where is that energy getting us right now? And I think he's starting to lose a lot of the fan base. And I think he's starting to kind of lose some of the locker room as well. He had a lot of emotion and had guys really on board with him at the beginning, but so did John Gruden. And I think Gruden was starting to kind of lose some of the locker room a little bit before everything kind of fell to the wayside. But again, Spytek is the one I think who's going to have to make these decisions. So he needs to be having those conversations with Mark right now and say, okay, are you going to give me the autonomy to put this thing together? Because if he's going to go ahead and ride with Pete for another year, we may see another 2-3 win season once again. I don't see that changing. If he decides he's going to roll with Pete another year, I don't see that changing because again, I'm not sure that Pete's going to roll the dice on a first round or quarterback. And of course, like you said, you almost have to draft back into the first round and get a good one. He's going to do what Gruden basically did and the whole Raiders regime did with Josh Jacobs is take one of the best backs in the league and just grind him. It's going to be sad. Brock Bowers had a prolific season last year, but only on a 4-win team. And I've heard people talking about, oh, Kyler Murray will be available. Let's get him. Or Tua Tagovailoa is going to be available. Let's get him. You don't go that route. You don't go that route. And I don't care what type of price tag that they have that you can get them for a bargain. You've got to go young. You've got to go ahead and get a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal. This is something the Raiders have never done. They've never done that. They've never gotten a first-round quarterback on a rookie deal. The last time they did was a guy who wasn't on a rookie deal. It was in 2007, and that wasn't a rookie deal. That was basically opening up the vault and saying, here, young man, take it all. Take it all.
And that was the guy that everybody in the NFL can thank the Raiders for getting Jabustus Russell because he's the one that proved if you get a really shitty quarterback in the first round, he sets you back at least 3 years, And that's not a rookie deal type shit. That's a, oh my God, we broke the fucking bank for Jabustas Russell. We need to get, and I know Sharif is about ready to fucking explode with orgasm because he's saying, oh, we need a quarterback. We need a quarterback. We need a young quarterback because the Raiders, I know Sharif. I know. Get it. I got it. So yeah, but I'm not willing, or I'm not sure. And it's depending on where those picks are, because I don't know if the Raiders are going to be picking first or third or fourth. Okay. And that's based on if they don't even win another fucking game. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going to be picking. Now, the point that I'm trying to make, and I'm sure you will as well there, Fester, is that we need a lineman and we do need a quarterback, but where the shakeout is based upon the draft board, okay, because people are talking about Sellers and Mendoza. Those are two names I hear a lot, okay? And before this year, they were talking about John Mateer of Oklahoma, okay? And there was like another guy who got injured, the kid from Penn State, and I can't remember what his name was, but he was a guy that was regarded to go high, and then he got injured. So there's going to be options for them, but it's a matter of if you're picking 3 and if Mendoza is there, do you pull the trigger on Mendoza or do you pull the trigger on? So it's a matter of you're going to have to get 1A, and 2, or 1, 2, and 2A in that span of where the draft picks are. Okay. And again, Raider Wave's throwing out CJ Carr is not going to be available till 27. So that's another year down the pipe.
Right.
That's another year down the pipe.
So Jack, here's my thinking on this. There's not a quarterback. There can be some wiggle room and some people discussing, well, this quarterback is the top of the class, or maybe these 2 top quarterbacks will go 1-2. I don't see that this year. I see a bunch of guys that could probably go top 15, but really don't see that. As a result, here's what I would do. What the Giants did last year, and I'll commend them on this part of the draft. They got the top player at the position in the 3rd overall pick. They took the top stud defensive end edge rusher for the 3rd pick. Then they put their draft capital, they pooled it back together and jumped back into the 1st round and got a young quarterback, Jackson Dart, a guy who I had my eyes on. Now, again, I'm not saying that Jackson Dart is the be-all, end-all, and I'm not saying that he's going to be the franchise guy going forward. But what I am saying is that the Giants were able to get 2 really good players again, to try to establish a foundation. Now, the difference between what the Raiders did in 2007 with Jamarcus Russell and now, and I will use the 2023 draft, which is not too far back, as a prime example. The Indianapolis Colts drafted Anthony Richardson in the top 5. Where is he now? Is he starting?
Well, he might be playing for the Raiders next year if you watch a couple, people saying, do we go after Anthony Richardson? And by the way, for those that don't know, I am a Florida Gator. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to show some bias here. The answer to that is no. Okay. And again, I'm a Gator. Okay. Anthony Richardson is a great product. He's kind of like a bigger Terrell Pryor.
Right.
But
exactly.
He can't throw predominantly. He can't throw, and he needs to have skill to do that.
I guess the point I was making was 2 years ago, the Colts drafted Anthony Richardson in the top 5, and now they found another quarterback, but it didn't kill them. It didn't totally wipe them out. They were able to move on. The reason why is because they didn't commit a boatload of money to a guy who was a liability. And that's what the Raiders have been doing. They've been hitching their wagons to somebody who they said was a bargain, whether it was Garoppolo or whoever, and pay him a bunch of money and say, oh, we're still getting a bargain. But what they're getting is they're just robbing the dumpster. and they're shelling out money, where they need to go ahead and go with somebody who, yes, they're unproven, but you bring in a young head coach, you bring in an offensive coordinator, you bring in somebody who's got a little bit of a plan and the reason to work. Chip Kelly may be the most overpaid person in all of the NFL right now, in my opinion. He may be the most overpaid person in the entire league. And again, I'm very disappointed. He hasn't shown me anything. Part of that maybe he may be hamstrung by what he's able to
Thank
do.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Because, folks,
So-
I mean, and again, I'm not a big Chip Kelly banger, okay? But you know, the guy is a great, and I will say great offensive coordinator in college, at least. He was decent in the pros when he had the right people for the right parts, okay? In Philadelphia, he had LaShawn McCoy and a great offensive line. And look it up, he did. So if you're going to be that guy with the great running back like LaShawn McCoy, and you have a good line for him, and I don't even remember who the fucking quarterback was in Philadelphia because it was so long ago. It was one of those things where they had LaShawn McCoy and they had an offensive line and they ran the ball with LaShawn McCoy and they did well, okay, because he had a no line. And that was Chip Kelly running that shit. So it can be done with the right people, okay? I'm just saying I'm not ready to throw out Chip Kelly, and I'm kind of looking more towards if you're going to bring in a great offensive guy and you get rid of Pete Carroll, is Chip Kelly going to stay? I would say that I would tell Chip Kelly, said, hey, go find a job in college, okay, and rescind your contract. Because if you're going to have a great offensive mind, younger guy, like Clint Kubiak's name has been popped around a bit, or the guy Joe Brady has been popped around a little bit. I can see that, okay, and I think that those would be good choices. But you need to make sure that if they, just like that autonomy thing, and I'm going to go back to Spytek in a minute, you were saying that you were feeding the masses, we are going to win, we're going to win, because that's what Pete believes. But Spytek was building for the future, because this is a rebuild. And if you notice, Spytek players aren't that bad. But they're not being fucking played. And that's not Spytek's fault. That's not his fault. I'm sorry, I ranted on you there, Thom, but
you're right. You're bringing up the exact points I was making. Is that you can't convince the fan base that you're rebuilding and in a win now mode at the same time. Everybody's not on the same page. Mark Davis is complicit in this whole Cowboys mentality of, oh, I'm the guy, I'm the sheriff, I'm running the show. And he may say that he's not. He may say that, oh, he's given all the power to Spytek. No, he hasn't. Just like he hasn't given power to anybody previously except for Gruden. And Gruden was not all that in a bag of chips when he came back. I mean, he gutted the team. They had 4 wins their first year, then they made it back to 8 wins. But again, they weren't a juggernaut. He wasn't building a juggernaut, and he was not bringing in good players at the top end of the draft. He proved that he was not a good talent evaluator and didn't do what he needed to do to build the lines up, and basically destroyed the best offensive line that we had in probably 2 decades.
yeah.
And when you go back to the 2016 season, we had a really good offensive line and had some good pieces to build on, and it was just totally decimated. I don't blame Rodney Hudson for getting out of town. I don't blame him one bit.
And Gabe Jackson too.
Yeah. Well, that was the reason when Rodney Hudson saw the writing on the wall that they weren't going to do anything with Gabe Jackson, he's like, okay, I'm done. So they didn't just lose one player, they lost 2. And those 2 could have been linchpins for probably back-to-back playoff seasons. I would say at that point, Carr was at least getting some good protection. Now, again, the Raiders didn't do themselves any favors. They didn't bring anybody in who was going to be an heir apparent to him. They just kept riding with him, and all of a sudden they wake up one day and he's gone, and the guy backed him up is gone, and now all of a sudden we have to go dumpster diving again.
Yeah. So I mean, and you said it, and I said it. And by the way, folks, if you look around, and I don't watch other people's shit here on YouTube. Not that there's stuff. Excuse me. Let me say, I don't watch other people's programs on YouTube. I don't. First off, I don't have the fucking time in the world to do it. Okay.
Right.
So if you're hearing this from me and from Thom, this is our thoughts on what we've been thinking about. But I'm pretty fucking sure there are people that have said similar things. I know I watch Murph on some of his shorts on Instagram. And so Murph and I are thinking along the same lines with power out for the great Raider, the guy in Tennessee that has his show on Wednesday, and his YouTube. So great stuff. But I've only seen like little snippets because that's what Instagram pops out. But I don't watch other people's stuff. So don't say that I'm copycatting somebody, because I'm not. But we all think this, and it's not just me. It's not just Thom. You're going to hopefully hear from Mad Bomber later on what he thought is going to be going on. So just keep your thoughts with us, because this is what they don't fucking talk to us, Thom. I wish they did.
Yeah. I don't want to see any Raider talk about any of the upcoming free agents in the quarterback class. I don't want to see it. I don't care. I don't care who's available. I say go ahead and pull the trigger and bring in your rookie quarterback, rookie deal. Then you can worry about your backup. Now, maybe it's going to be O'Connell. Maybe, I don't know. He's already proven he's a good backup. Does he stay at that point? Do you bring in somebody else? Do you bring in another retread and have them be the guy? Now, maybe here's a thought. And again, I am very generous in my opinion toward Justin Fields and bringing him in as a backup. And I know he's really discontented with the Jets, but I've got no problem with bringing him in as long as he realizes, hey, we're committing to a rookie quarterback, and we're going to develop a rookie quarterback, and you can be the guy waiting in the wings. We'll develop you as a backup, and if something happens, if he goes down, or if God forbid you should beat him out in camp, so be it. But I've got no problem with that. But if you bring him in, you don't anoint him as a starter. You don't bring him in and say, okay, you're the guy who's going to run the ship. You can give him another opportunity and say you can be the guy waiting in the wings, but that would be it. That would be my only caveat with him.
Yeah. And if you're going to, and this is also where Richardson's name pops in. Okay. I would rather have Justin Fields on a year coming in as a backup than I would with Richardson, because Fields can actually do the job if given a little bit more, patience, and given more practice, and given more, opportunity. He can do the job. So I have no problem with Justin Fields. Richardson needs to be pretty much wiped from a wiping board and start over. But he has the physical tools. But I want somebody there. I want. And by the way, I also don't throw Cam Miller out of the equation yet, because we don't even know what the fuck he can do.
Well, I was going to bring his name up too. Absolutely, Jack. I would not be averse to bringing him back into camp and giving him opportunity. I really don't think he was given one. And Sharif saying that something tells me that Geno gets injured this week. I think he's already injured. I'll be honest with you. I think he's already injured.
Yeah, he's playing through it.
Again,
and
maybe that's just being in conjecture. He has not been playing like 100% well quarterback. Now, again, I'm not sure whether that's the mentals as well as the physicals, some whole combination. But these interceptions that he's throwing, and again, even the one that Kenneth Murray batted up that was intercepted when they got in the red zone, that was the same throw that the Bears picked off twice in succession. It's the same pick that he keeps throwing. He's throwing tight, deep into coverage that people are just waiting on. He's not even looking at down the sidelines, and he's not throwing up things that where only the receiver can get him. When he's coming across the middle, he's almost killing his receivers because he's kind of laying them out to dry. Now his knee, I'm not sure is 100%. And again, every time he kicks the snap,
his knees fucked up, and it was the hamstring or the quad that
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
And so I know that got messed up too.
And every time he takes a snap from center, he takes 3 drops back, and he's already in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, and he now is at the point where he's not going to run, and I think everybody knows that. There's been a couple times where he squirted free of the pocket and still not run. He could easily picked up some yards, but again, he's not looking at the field. On one of the, I can't remember whether it was the interception. It might have been on the interception or one of the conversions. He had Tyler Lockett running free across the middle with nobody around him, and it didn't even look his way. It's crazy. It's really fallen apart. I thought that Geno would be a lot more consistent this year than he has been, and he's been consistent. I'll give him that, but not consistently good.
Yeah. EMAC is saying another year of Pete with Dable as OC. Okay. That I can actually see because, you got Pete that wants to win as long as, and here's the as long as, you make sure that there is the friggin' from on high that Spytech needs to go to Mark Davis. And just like you were saying before, I'm the man. If we suck, I'm going to use the term now. If we suck, it's because it's my team and my decisions with the coach and other things. I'm the man. And that needs to be done. So if Spytech is the man, and if Pete knows that his marching orders are through Spytech, and he gives him all of the guys in the pantry. And by the way, all these rookies that this year, they're going to be second-year players next year. And we need to have a lot of more rookie influx, which is why if you're not going to play rookies, then we need to get those very awesome free agent, real good free agents, because then you can't say to Pete, well, you don't need to keep a rookie up that not been done, because these guys are free agents. They're not fucking rookies, okay? And I really think, and you guys know this, build the offensive line. Captain Jackson banging the drum for a while. And let Pete be under John Spytech if you're going to keep Pete. One of these guys is going to go. It's either going to be Pete Carroll or Chip Kelly. That's the thing. One of those guys is going to be gone. That's the question of which guy is going to be gone.
Yeah. One other thing that I was really happy to see against the Cowboys, although there wasn't really a whole lot of good things to see. One thing was the evolution, if you will, or the appearance, or the hello, here I am, Ian Thomas. Ian Thomas is a good receiver, and he's
Yes,
a good blocker as well. And how many times have you and I come on this program and said, let's run some 3 tight end sets. Let's run that 13 personnel. Let's go ahead and get 3 really good weapons that we have and let them scatter. Give Geno some good short options that spread the defense out a little bit. Ian Thomas is a good receiver and a good blocker as well. Let's utilize that.
Yeah, and he made a very big catch in front of me the last game. It was like, yeah, what a great catch that was. In fact, it was like the same play back to back, or there was like the good play, then maybe another play, and then the same play. And I think one was caught by Bowers, and then the next one was caught by Thomas. There might have been one in between. I apologize for not knowing exactly, but it looked like the same route with the same great play. Boom, boom. And I know we didn't get a touchdown out of it because it was 3-6-9. And that was a crazy.
Right. But this whole offensive line has been mismanaged this year. And I say mismanaged because they brought in the preeminent running back in the draft, and they said basically, okay, guy, go and get your yards, but we're not going to block for you. I mean, they've been on top of him as soon as he gets the ball. Whatever yards he's gotten has been of his own doing. You just can't do that.
By the way, speaking of that, I thought that Genti got out of the end zone on that safety. I thought that the ball was out of the end zone. Yes, I'm looking biased at it, but I thought it was out of the end zone. And by the way, so he had like what, 7 runs, but the first run they had when the ball is fucking deep in your territory is a fucking run to Genti. Hello, can you be any more stupid?
No.
That was stupid.
I mean, I think Jack, I think you could call a better game. I think I could call a better game. Because we would just get there and say, okay, let's look and see what our strengths are. Gino, take the snap, hit Bowers across the middle, hit Tyler Lockett on a quick out pattern, hit Genti on a quick out over the middle. Do a delayed screen or draw or whatever. I mean, let's shake it up a little bit, but let's get the ball out of Gino's hands quickly. When Gino hangs onto the ball longer than 3 seconds, bad things happen. Yeah. And the defense knows that. So what they can do is they can go ahead and stunt, and they can go ahead and collapse on Stone Forsythe and Jordan Meredith, and they can bull rush those guys and know that we can get in Gino's face early, and we can pop the ball up in the air, or they'll pitch the ball out to the side, make Genti run east-west instead of north-south. And that's the other thing. A lot too many of the Raiders' running plays have been east-west. They don't run the ball straight up. And when they do, they run the ball up front and they get no gain. They say, okay, we'll just abandon the run. We'll just go back to the pass. So what do? We throw the ball 40 times a game. And so the defenses will just key off on that. They'll say, well, if you're not going to run, we'll just concentrate on our pass rush and then drop an extra player or two in coverage, and we'll just be waiting on you.
Yeah, and the extra player or two in coverage is the guy that's going to tip the fucking ball to the other guy.
Yeah. Well, they're only going to tip the ball if Gino tries to force it in a tight space, throwing it in that exact same spot. If you look at the majority of his interceptions, they've been pretty much in the same spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
right
like between the hash marks.
Yeah,
between the hash marks or the seam, right? Mm-hmm. Basically, between seam to seam, those are where it's tipped. The ball in Indianapolis was tipped that way. The 2 against the Bears were tipped that way. The one out pattern against the Patriots, at least that was on the outside. It was outside of the seam to the sideline. Everything else, I believe, has been between the 2 seam on the hash marks.
Gino's 2 most consistent passes all season have been that one down the middle, which typically either gets batted down or intercepted, or the intentional grounding.
Yeah, don't even go there. For sure.
But again, his confidence is gone, and he knows that. I think nobody's admitted that. Pete's certainly not going to admit that. But he's brought in a quarterback, and he's basically killed his confidence. And again, he's had a couple of big plays here and there, but when you have the quarterback ducking his head and doing the old Derek Carr, well, go ahead, blame me. That's on me. That's my fault. That's a cop out. That when you get quarterbacks saying that, rather than just saying, well, we'll get it corrected. We'll do what we need to do, rather than dropping into the woe is me mode. I mean, we might as well have Eeyore back there calling plays.
Oh, wait. Jimmy Farrell's not in this conversation yet. Raider Eeyore. Okay. I didn't see him. Yeah. Or is it Raider Townie? Which one do you like better, Raider Eeyore or Raider Townie? I like Raider Townie.
Townie.
Yeah.
Gotta go Townie.
Yeah. Jimmy Farrell.
Because the good old, oh no, we suck again. That's classic. You got to.
Oh no! Oh, but I can't say that. Got to have him say it. So that's it. Yeah, and yes, Sharif, he didn't look like this last year. But wasn't it you, Sharif? And I'm going to say this. Wasn't it you, Sharif, that said that Gino played behind a shitty line last year, and so he can do it? I think that was you. So we still have a shitty line, and Gino's playing like shit. So I'm just saying. So the shitty line is just as shitty, but he can't run around because he is injured, because his quad's injured, his knee's injured. His pride is injured. You know, I do like the fact, blame if your car don't run, blame me. If you didn't get groceries at the grocery store, or you got a ticket from a cop, blame me. It was funny, but it just shows you that he's like, oh, it's his oh fuck it. That's his oh fuck it moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And
I
you
don't
can't
agree
have
with that. I don't agree that Best is. Best made a big catch the other night. He needs more reps. He's not bad. And Thornton is not bad. These guys have ability. They really do. I know what Thornton can do because I saw, Tennessee games. He needs work. He does need work, but he can do it. And Best is a decent. I think maybe we drafted him. We could have got another receiver there because I was very high on him. But then he said, well, this guy and this other guy were available in round 2. And you didn't get him. I'm like, okay, we kind of maybe blew the biscuit there, but he's not bad. He's definitely a good receiver. He needs more mentoring, and he needs.
If he's not a good receiver, you have to prove that. You have to bear that out by saying, okay, we're going to give him a lot of touches, and then at the end of the year, we can make that determination that yes, he's a good player, or no, he's not. We hadn't seen that. With a lot of these rookies, we just haven't seen that. And again, I'm not sure. It's almost like you draft them and then stash them. It's almost like they're putting them on a redshirt year this year. We've got so many players that are young players. I mean, when you and I were at the Raiders game against the Commanders, and they put up all the inactives, and I think it was like 6 of the 7 that were on inactives were rookies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't have that in the third week of the season.
Yeah. And I'm going to answer this, Sharif. I'm going to answer this for you. Best college running back, and I know it was looking like ass. That's on the OC. No, it's on the OL, the offensive line. The offensive line sucks. That I will say. Okay, not the whole team, but the offensive line from tackle to tackle sucks. And I can say that because Colton Miller is not playing, and he's on the he shouldn't be there on the mo. But you can't tell me that when JPJ was fucking playing against the Broncos before he got injured, when JPJ was playing, that fucking offensive line looked a hell of a lot better. Okay.
And you know what they had with him, Jack, what they had was push. Right now, they don't have any push. You go back and you look at the Cowboys game. As soon as the ball was snapped, the Cowboys were knocking the Raiders back into the backfield. There was just no push, and you can't expect any running back. I don't care how good they are. You can't expect any running back to get any runs at all if there's no push from the offensive line. When the defense is on top of you as soon as you're getting the ball, yeah, there you go. That says it all. All Genty's best runs came behind JPJ.
And that's true.
Who was working his way in and out of the doghouse with Pete Carroll.
Yeah. And see, here's the one thing that I was saying, like, who do you want to get rid of? I don't know yet. Okay. Like I said, I'm not so much ready to get rid of Chip Kelly. I want to see what Chip Kelly's offense can do with the right people. Okay. I'm kind of more pissed off at Pete because Pete's on we're going to win 10 games. Mm-hmm. Well, no, we're not, Pete. And we need to do the process of finding out who these guys are. And I'm more along the lines of the team is not good because the coach is not playing the guys that he needs to develop. Okay. Mm-hmm. To me, that's on Pete. So if there's your answer. But maybe we look a lot better if the people were gravitating towards Pete, and he kind of looks the part, and he goes around and not cuddle fucks, because we got rid of Wilkins cuddle fucking. But I'm just saying he's with the players in that great rapport type shit. But no, it needs to be done. And like as Fester says, a young offensive mind. Okay, great. And Sharif says bring in Brian Flores. Brian Flores is a defensive guy.
Yeah, why you don't need a defensive guy?
No, he's a defensive guy, Sharif. Why the fuck would we go? I like Brian Flores, and if Brian Flores is available later, I can't remember where he is now. But if Brian
Miami, no,
okay.
Is it Miami or Minnesota?
Minnesota, because Miami was he was told that you're going to lose, and he's like, "Fuck you, I'm not going to lose." Minnesota, yeah, but I tell you what, Patrick Graham is not going to be here next year, so there's one guy that's not going to be here.
Yeah.
First
and again, I think it needs to go trade the first round pick for Kyler Murray. Good Lord.
Fuck you, Emac. Okay. I mean, come on, kid.
I think somebody's been smoking something tonight.
Oh yeah, we're gonna sign J.K. Dobbins, who's coming off a knee injury. No, come on.
I really think, Jack. I think that we need to the coaches need to sit down, Genty, and say we need to save you for next year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And
yeah,
the other
and not to be tanking, because we still have some good players that we can really utilize and get some good run, get some good burn out of. If they're already committing to throwing the ball all the time, why not do that? You know, let's run 3 tight end sets. Let's get Ian Thomas into the mix. Let's go ahead and bring Dante Thornton in. Get some long balls there. Use those 3 tight ends to bolster the blocking so we can get some good downfield passes. Let's get Besh in there in the slot. Let's go ahead and just use these players. You know, let's get Mostert some action. Let's get him running, and let's go ahead and start building those pieces. Like you said, let's see all that we've got to see who's going to stay and who's going to go.
Emac, I'm going to tell you this. I know now you're starting to piss me off. Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson, shut the fuck up. Don't let me put you in timeout. The next one you're going to go on timeout. I'm letting you know now. Okay. But again, they need an offensive line. And the one thing that if we do get rid of Pete, guess what? Pete goes and his 2 flunky fuck up kids go too. They go too. And
they may be the weakest links.
Yeah.
They may be the weakest links.
And I will say, you know, if you get a young guy, I have a feeling that Chip Kelly's gone. And that's okay. That's okay. But I want to keep Chip Kelly, but I need a change with Pete and his 2 sons. You know, like I would say my 3 sons, like the old show, but I don't know where his 3rd son is. But we don't need that shit. We don't need that shit. So it's unfortunate.
I wouldn't be opposed. I know that we've talked about the fact that the Raiders have to have stability at the head coaching position, but we all know that Pete Carroll's not going to be the model of consistency as far as stability goes. I'd have no problem if they went ahead and sat down with Joe Brady with Buffalo and said, "Hey, would you be interested in being the head coach if we can promise you that we're going to draft our quarterback of the future and do something that this Raiders team has never done? And that's bring in a new head coach and bring in a quarterback on a rookie deal. They've never done that before."
Emac, I appreciate your loyalty, but some days I'm not in the mood, brother. I'm just an old man that gets pissy. I appreciate your loyalty. I got it. But and here's the thing. Let's talk about this. Gino might not throw 25 interceptions if we have AOC 12 playing quarterback. Okay, I know he's a statue. But I think that AOC 12, even on his bad wheels, would be better than Gino is playing right now because Gino can't run, period, because of his injury.
I think O'Connell can at least step up and throw it.
Yep. Yeah.
He's got a strong enough arm to where if you give him 2 or 3 seconds, I think he can probably loft the ball down the field for Dante Thornton to go get it.
I think so. I think
put him on opposite sides of the field and say, okay, you guys both run post patterns. I'm just going to throw it toward the post and see which one of you guys can get it.
I'm letting you know that Johnny has the link in your email, because hopefully we'll be joined by Johnny after his show is done, but we'll see. But I'm not kicking you out yet because I like this. Obviously,
Let me see if I can stay on a few more minutes here.
sure, as long as you don't get in trouble with the commander in chief family. I don't want that on a Friday night. But
Gotcha. Yeah. But no, Jack, I mean, we've talked about this ad nauseum. To me, it doesn't matter whether they beat the Browns or not this week. I'm not really cared about this. Does it lower or raise my opinion of the Raiders? No, it doesn't. They could lose, they could win, they could jump on a 3-4 game winning streak. I thought that they were going to start one against Dallas, and boy, they got boat raced in a big way.
that was embarrassing.
It was. It was. And I'm not sure if you saw that one touchdown, which I've seen over and over, that they threw to Pickens, and he started off. They threw it to him on the left hand side, and then
he wound up on like going across the field like it was like a flag football game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, guys are just kind of reaching out like they were trying to grab the flag. I mean, Jeremy Chin just kind of watched him run by, like as if to say, "Well, okay, ole, here's the red cape. Ooh, ole,
Yeah.
there you go."
That was hard. You know, I actually have that taped, and it's on my not VCR, but whatever the equivalent is. It's on my things to watch. But it was so horrible. I watched NCIS, the back-to-back episodes, because I knew that would be more entertaining, and I missed it. So I watched that. I admit it. I'm a big NCIS guy. So I watched the old NCIS that I needed to catch up on. I still have it there in the banks. Maybe I'll watch it tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. I think the Gators are off tomorrow. I do have tickets for the Florida State game next Saturday. And they were given to me from VetTix. So I am going to do everything in my power to go to the Florida State game, and then I'm going to try to do everything in my power to be in Atlanta on Sunday for the Atlanta Black Hole. And I will probably do increments because Gainesville is about 2 hours away, and maybe I'll go to the game and move up to like the top of Florida and get a hotel room, and then go up for Sunday where I can be. This is my idea because I was going to do this. But then again, like the young lady that had that operation, she's already thinking about what the hell's going on for Thanksgiving. I don't care. We'll pick up the to-go meals from Popeyes or Publix, and we'll have it's family. We're gonna have our family together. You don't have to fucking cook because you're gonna be, for those that don't know, she had an appendectomy. So she can't move around too well. That's okay. We'll do Thanksgiving. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. I'm just glad that that this Thanksgiving I don't have to worry about eating a big Thanksgiving dinner and then watching the Raiders get rolled in a night game.
Bob says, "Who's the next coach to get fired?" I don't know. I mean, Bob, you might be a little bit late. We were talking about if you get rid of Pete, you at least get rid of Pete and fuck twat offensive line coach and fuckhead, because fuck twat's a little bit higher in stature. As far as being a fuck twat, fuck twat and fuckhead, it's a little bit lower. But you get rid of his fuck twat sons. You can say that in plurality. No, it's not an obstructed view. I know this is three. Okay, I saw that it's 50-yard line at the top of the first level.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's good.
And it's 50-yard line on the visitor side, and I know where it is because when I was going to Florida, I know what the Gator side is because I was a student. I'm not a student. I'm going to be on the Florida State side at the top for free, and that's great. That's great. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah. All right, I'm getting ready to shove off here, but before I do, want to just lay a couple more things out there. Number one, I am not leaving the side of the Raiders, regardless of how many more they win or lose this year. I'm not that fan. I'm a realist. I know that the Raiders have been on tough times for many years, but it's just because they haven't gotten the right person to figure it out yet. That person's coming. I don't know whether it's next year or the year after, but that person's coming. I've had my eyes on several people that the brain trust just simply, I haven't been on the same wavelength with them. They don't seem to be getting the little hints I'm trying to throw out there. And of course, I could be completely wrong, but the direction they've been going has certainly not been good. And if they had listened to some of us in terms of the last few draft picks, I think we'd be better off than we are right now, definitely. But you've got enough good pieces to where let's go ahead and see what we have. Let's utilize what we have to the best of our ability and give these young guys a chance. Let's find out what we have. Let's find out who's going to stick and who's not going to stick. I think this is the one thing that can make Max Crosby happier is let's play some of these young guys and let's let him make some evaluations on these guys. Who does he think really can stay and go? Let's give him a little bit of input into this. I've been horribly disappointed with Malcolm Kuntz. That's been a dreadful overpayment, and I think they're seeing that now.
Yeah.
Tyree Wilson's going to be gone. They're not going to re-up his contract. They might want to go ahead and put him on the trading block and at least try to get a 2 or a 3 for him. Get as much draft capital as you can so that we can make this 2 first rounds and a second round happen next year. Let's just assemble as much draft capital as we can, and let's look forward to being able to draft 2 first round picks next year and have both of those stick. One of them being a quarterback and one of them being an offensive lineman. And again, I'll go down swinging with that, but I'm going and putting that out there now. That's what I'm looking for the Raiders to do next spring. I don't care what draft position they end up in. I'm not worried about that. I know it's going to be in the top 10. We at least know that.
Yeah.
But again, you got to get a young quarterback, get a stud offensive lineman, and then go around pick another offensive lineman, get at least 1 or 2 in free agency. Let's build it up and let's make this thing that is a liability right now a strength. So whatever quarterback you put behind that line is going to hold up, and he's going to be able to utilize the weapons that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So
and I got now. I'm gonna ask your opinion here because I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. Last time the Raiders were great was under Jack Del Rio. Okay. By the way, and I will say this, I will bang my fist on the table every time. Del Rio was last in and first out. Last in, first out, which means all the other coaches and players were in there, and then Jack would pop in, and he was the first motherfucker out of the facilities. No. Del Rio. I mean, if we're going to say that the last time the Raiders were great, it still was under Gruden, but it was when Gruden was gone, and they had the special teams coach Rich Bisaccia there. Okay. If you're saying great, the good, okay, great. I still say no, not Jack Del Rio. I don't even remember. I hate saying it. I don't even remember the last time the Raiders were great. We can go back to great, like the best team in the AFC. Technically, that would be under Bill Callahan. That's how long ago.
The last time the Raiders were great was the year 2000. And again, I won't even say 2002. They made it to the Super Bowl that year, which was a good year. But I will say that they weren't great. They haven't been great since 2000. So it's been 25 years. They've had some good years. They've been good, and I think 2021 they kind of flashed, but again, I don't think they were great. So you have to go all the way back to 2000. Tyree Wilson is probably going to land somewhere and be great. He will
rejuvenate
his career.
You're right. Cleve Farrell played well when he left the Raiders, and he was overdrafted, but if you look under where were the Clemson players that were drafted, Wilkins was a first rounder. Cleve Farrell was a first rounder. Wilkins with some very I ain't even gonna say what the fuck I've heard about Wilson, but there's a reason other than his injury injury. There's a reason why Wilkins is not playing. You guys figure it out.
Yeah, yeah. Don't forget Dexter Lawrence on that offensive line for Clemson either.
Yeah, yeah, because he was the other what do you call it? High pick, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Had four first rounders from that line.
Yeah. And where are they now? Cleve's. I don't even know what Cleve was on the Niners last time I checked.
Lawrence, I think, is still with the Giants.
Yeah, Lawrence is with the, and he's played well. He's played well.
Yeah.
And there was another guy that was the fourth guy that went in like the third round. He was the fourth, and I don't even know who the fuck it was, but he was the guy. He was the other guy, right? And I don't remember who he was, but he might even still be in the league. Just another guy, but we don't know. But anyway, and this is my segue, because somebody was saying that there is a defensive lineman that plays for Clemson that is the bee's knees, and that we need to draft him in the first round.
No.
Good, because I don't want any. I'm sick of kind of Clemson. The greatest Clemson guy that we had on our team was fucking what's his nose, the 13 that played receiver.
Hunter Renfro.
Hunter Renfro. See, I remember names sometimes I don't know.
Yeah. You mean Tanner Muse was not the
fuck Tanner Muse. Fuck Tanner Muse. How many times did we try to make a safety a linebacker, and how well it works out every time? I remember Tanner Muse.
How many times did we try to make a non-NFL player an NFL player?
Well, technically, like almost all of them, because even if you're drafted, you're a non-NFL player, and so I know what you were saying. I get it. Yeah, but it's just unfortunate.
All right, Jack. Well, listen, we'll try to do this thing again. Probably not next Thursday, because happy Thanksgiving to everybody. But
yes.
We could jump on possibly Friday if you're up for a Friday. We could do that.
Let's do that.
I look forward to hearing from you, and we'll make this thing happen one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, because now that I don't have to have my show on Thursdays, because it was one of those requirements when I was on the network. And again, blessings to my buddy Jack that died. Mr. McGrath. May he rest in peace. Really great guy. And we had that network, and nothing really happened. But so Thursdays was like Captain Jack to me on Thursday. I don't have to be on Thursdays anymore. I like to be, but I might do a show. Might be like a repeat show on. Maybe you'll be because I know Wednesday the 3rd of December, Jerry Robinson will be on here.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm happy about that. Allegedly, we're getting it set up. Jerry Robinson, who had a 3-hour show. The first time he was on, it's great. It was great because we were talking. He was kind of like Villapiano, just like give him a question and he'd roll, So it's like Jerry Robinson, if all goes well, December 3rd on the Wednesday show, 9:00.
Yeah. Well, let's hope for a win against Cleveland. If not, let's hope that we see some glimmers of hope with these young players. I want to see some of these guys get some action, and we'll see. Let's hope what is not going to happen this week is something that I fear is going to happen, and is that Shedeur Sanders comes out looking like an MVP candidate, like so many roughshod quarterbacks coming in against the Raiders have done.
Remember, if he's a backup quarterback, he's going to win. He's going to win. So for anybody that was saying, because it's like Mariota won, and the fucking backup quarterback that was a rookie for the Niners on the Monday night game or the Sunday night game a couple years ago, he won. And I'm sure that there are other examples of a backup quarterback coming in their first fucking game. Literally, it'll be Sanders' first start. Might not be his first game, but they're going to win.
Tyson Bagent with the Bears.
There you go. I knew it was, and I was there for that game. Tyson Bagent. Agent Bagent. I mean, it was, if it's a fucking backup, he's going to win.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, listen, Jack. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy Thanksgiving to all the listeners out there and viewers, and we'll get together next week at some point.
Next Friday, guys. I'm calling it right now. I normally
Okay.
I'd say, oh, I got to fucking do a show on Thursday. No, fucking, I ain't doing the show on Thursday.
All
No
right.
matter what. Hey, Thom, aka
Thanks, man.
Raider
All right.
Fester. I'll put that up. See, Raider Fester, T3 Sports Guy. Yay! The light bulb works. It's
There
good.
we go. All right. You all take care. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Happy
We'll
Thanksgiving
see
to you as
soon.
well, brother. Take care. Best
Take
to the
care.
wife and family. Be well. And there you go. I'm gonna text Johnny. I'll call Johnny. I mean, he's doing this. I don't know. Well, is he doing his show still? Maybe he's still doing his show. I'm not worried. Okay, wait. No, I don't need to see him. Pardon me. Johnny might still be on his show. I'm gonna text him again. I will put people on. So don't worry. Don't go away. Don't go away. Let me see. Still busy? Let me see. Maybe he's still busy. But hopefully we'll have Johnny on. And I am opening it up. I am opening it up to people. So if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna get another thing to drink. So I'm gonna use my Captain Jack, I'll be right back one. Don't leave on me, please. Do not leave on me, please. I'm gonna put this there you go. That will be up. I will be right back. Don't go away. I'm gonna get 2 more drinks, non-alcoholic, and then I will open up the show to a bunch of other people. Bob Mendoza, yeah, we got to draft a quarterback, okay, but we need offensive linemen, and I'm going to put this one. But Mendoza or Sellers or somebody, but we need offensive linemen, okay. So it depends on where the Raider draft falls, okay. If it's high enough to get Mendoza, great, but you better get some fucking offensive linemen, or he's going to suck. Anybody that is a great quarterback is going to suck because of no line. Okay, I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. I will be right back. Please, please. Okay, Mike is muted. That's on me. Yeah, I remember, Eric. Yeah, Baker Mayfield. Actually, that was one of the things that we were talking about here. Not we, but the area in Tampa, because Mayfield played for the Rams 2 days, not even 36 hours after he got a playbook in his hand, and he's playing for the Rams. And we got fucked because I remember that Derek Dallas Carr, I want to make sure I get this correct. Derek Dallas Carr throws an interception before the half. So not only do we not get 3 points, we should have had 7. We could have at least had 0 points because Derek Dallas Carr, I have to say this with Sharif. And then they had a fucked up penalty by the guy from Notre Dame, Jerry Tillery. It wasn't a personal foul. It was not. Or it's one of those things. It wasn't a 15-yard penalty. It should have been a delay a game penalty, 5 yards, not 15. And because of that, they kept the drive going. It was like a 98-yard drive, and Mayfield got it. Jimmy Farrell, good to see. We were talking about you earlier, Jimmy, when we were talking about where the fuck is Raider Eeyore or Raider Towney. Fester is of the idea that you are Raider Towney. And I like Raider Towney as well. But it's either one or. No, you don't pick your nickname. Okay. Mendoza would be, as long as we get an offensive line. I think I would have said that. I'm Ed. I know. And by the way, like I said, I'm not so attached to Crosby that I have a big Max Crosby. Like you see the Howie Long poster over there. I don't have a big Max Crosby full size poster in my room. You got a bobblehead, and I do got his, the signed whatever. Well, actually, it's not signed. But I do have a Max Crosby, one of those. It's not a Madden piece. It's one of those other ones. But it's cool. I like Max Crosby, really do. But, why are you trading away our best asset? Okay. Mendoza could be that guy. And, again, Islanders don't care. You know why? Because they're the Islanders. Didn't the Flyers beat the Islanders? The last night, didn't I check? I think they beat the Islanders. And PT 109 from 1963, same year that John F. Kennedy was assassinated. There goes. Ed, my brother, this team in 2 years could be something. Okay? 2 years. Now, will Max be older? Sure. But Khalil Mack is playing like a madman. And look at his age. 2 years. If you build and go. Why would you want to get rid of Max Crosby? Now, if we're not all that in a biscuit in 2 years, then ask Max. Let Max Crosby make that decision. And hopefully we'll get Johnny in here, but in case we don't, I'm putting up the link. And Sharif, this is your chance to go on. Okay, come into the show. Remember, I'm not doing a show. Not doing the show next Thursday. That's Thanksgiving. But yeah, come into the show. There it is. Let's see. Copy that up. And I'll be. And I'm glad that there's nothing positive to talk about. The Raiders. Season's over. I'm canceling my football package until this thing. By the way, I would not be surprised. Yeah, he's gonna win, Jimmy. He's a backup quarterback. The Raiders do not beat backup quarterbacks. Tyson Bagent, Baker Mayfield, Marcus Mariota. There are others. Raiders lose to backup quarterback. And I know you do. I know you do, Ed. You know, this is one of those things where you and I just if the Raiders aren't going in the right direction in 2 years, and Max wants to leave, okay. I think Max wants to stay, but if they're not going in the right direction, Max eventually will say, "Hey, I want one out of here." Okay, you're canceling your I canceled the football package because of it going to YouTube TV. You're now the Washington General. It's sad. It is. It's sad. It really is. It's sad. And Bob, I you know, that would be great. If the Smugs miss the playoffs, what's the rest of their schedule? I know that is it the last game of the season? They will need to win against us in order to have a chance for the playoffs. I think that's the only game I want us to win from now on. Okay, let me take that back. I want the Raiders to win. I want the Raiders to play well every game. I do, because I'm usually at every game. But if the Raiders, like, oh my God, they have to win a game, for me, it's the last game of the season against Kansas City. So if anybody wants to come in, there's the link. I appreciate everybody being here. It would be great. Hit the link. Hopefully, I'm gonna text Johnny again. Hopefully, Johnny will come in. He said he'll be here. Maybe he's still having his YouTube show. Okay, good. Okay, cool. You got my message. Yeah, Johnny will be here, which is good. So we might have a longer show tonight. At least is there. But it would be great. It would be great if, God, Robert Blake was so fucking young in '63. Robert Blake. You know, Beretta. And see, Ed's in. Ed's all in. God, Norman Fell looked fucking young as hell too. These guys are all dead. Norman Fell's dead. Robert Blake's dead. It's amazing. I think obviously Cliff Robertson's dead. But hey, we are gonna be joined by Sharif. So we'll bring Sharif on. Colts, Cowboys, Texans, Titans, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders, Chiefs. Oh, the Chiefs' remaining games. Okay, the Colts. Okay, and I'll bring you in a second there, Sharif. Colts, Cowboys, Texans, Titans, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders. Maybe they do miss the playoffs. That would be nice. They're 5-5. They're only 3 games better than us. So anyway, Sharif, give me a mic check, brother.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2.
Good to see you.
Am I okay?
Oh, you're fucking 5x5, man. You're good to go.
Great, Cap. Last we spoke was prior to the Cowboy massacre, and you may remember I asked you, or we touched on specifically what we thought the percentage of Cowboy fans would be, and I mentioned here on your show I suspected it would be 65% minimum. And being that you were there, of course, I was just seeking confirmation from you.
I know it was 50-50 at best for the Raiders. There were a lot of dark jerseys. There was a lot of Cowboys people there. I don't know. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying I couldn't really tell. I know that when the Cowboys had the ball or when they had to play defense, there was a roar from the crowd.
Right.
So I don't know if it was up to 65%. I would say that it was at least, at best for the Raiders, 50-50. At best for the Raiders, 50-50. So could be 60-40. Maybe it was that, but it's one of those things where what are you going to do? You knew it was going to be very bad.
Well, sometimes the closer you are to the field and you are, you have a pretty good view being down low, you don't necessarily get the best panoramic perception of the composition of the crowd, because I asked the question on Facebook, and a lot of our mutual friends, most of them were saying around 70% Dallas. But of course, they probably didn't sit down, field level or as close to the field as you.
Right.
But when you're higher up and you can scan the crowd like a desert eagle in the sky. And I know watching the game on TV, yes, I could hear a substantial difference in the crowd reaction when Dallas would do make a play and stuff like that. So but it wasn't any surprise because that was their first visit there, and I saw so many posts, and it looked like the Arlington Annex out there and people with cowboy hats. I've heard some of our friends like Yvonne Vasquez talk about the airport being flooded with them.
Oh, dude, when I was leaving on and by the way, Johnny is backstage. He will be joining us after Sharif makes his points, and I'm not going to short shrift Sharif, but we are going to be joined by Johnny, which is awesome. But yeah, now at the airport, oh my fucking god, the airport was full of fucking people leaving with Dallas Cowboy jerseys on, or Dallas Cowboy shirts, Dallas Cowboy jackets, Dallas Cowboy sweatshirts. Yes, there was a shit ton of them. And that's why I said there was a shit ton of Dallas fans there. I just don't know what the percentage was. I don't know what the percentage was. But yeah, I would say at best, the Raiders had 50% of the crowd.
Anyway, Cap, before I go, of course, we have to address the elephant in the room. No pun intended.
Hey, I'm losing weight. Okay, stop that elephant in the room shit. I've lost a little bit of weight.
Yeah, upgraded the hippo in the room, but keep up the good work.
Thank you.
But this game between 2-8 clubs, a Super Bowl of ineptitude, but the biggest headline, of course, is the son of Hall of Famer Deion Sanders getting his first start. And there are many people who are of the belief that football games, like a lot of television programs, is scripted or whatever. But the way this has played out, when you have the plot, according to Skip Bayless and others, of Tom Brady's relationship with Shador and the family when he was still a kid and in college, and a team and a coach, Stefanowski, or however you say his name, who seemed very intent on not starting him, now being forced to start him. And wouldn't you know it, typical Raider luck, he makes his first start against the team that bypassed him more than any other team in the draft. 7 times.
Okay.
Because of the surplus picks we had.
Okay.
All I'm saying, Cap, is we can't control the sequence of events.
I got you.
this drama suggests something really cataclysmic about to transpire, because karma is no respecter of persons or organizations or logos. And if we don't know for sure, none of us know for sure, but if there was a concerted effort by Brady and others, or if what Skip Bayless maintained for weeks and Brady didn't answer him, as far as his disingenuous, weak excuse of, well, I wasn't consulted about Shador, I wasn't part of the decision making in the draft. When Brady came here, we all bragged about his knowledge and him being primary in us finding a quarterback. Now, when Shador doesn't get picked by us, and remember, Cap, exactly a year ago today, I'm not saying you, but many of our Raider podcaster friends and experts and mock drafters and most people were cursing out Antonio Pierce, wanting him to tank for Shador. Yeah. We act like that's 10 years ago. That was 365 days ago. And then all of a sudden, January and February, the media started pushing a different slant, and the kid fell out of favor with a lot of people. And we bypassed him 7 times. Remember Mark Davis greeting him at the Las Vegas Aces game, showing all 32 teeth like he's doing the Colgate commercial, and giving little hints on camera, telling Shador, well, you know, you might be home already. So there was like so many crazy indicators that we may go in that direction. And after seeing the Steelers, bypass him in the first round, and he fell, and we like, well, we know we need some type of quarterback, and we didn't take one until Cleveland took 2, and if not for a tweet by the president, who interjected himself in the whole drama, where he tweeted, why didn't anyone why did anyone draft Shador? He's a good kid. Damn near a couple of hours after that, the Browns fell on the sword and took Shador. And that's when we finally took a QB and Cam Miller. We all knew we needed some type of quarterback. Why did it take us until Shador was off the board? So to avail us any scrutiny or questions from the press, that now all of a sudden we bold enough to take a Cam Miller because we are availed from any questions about why we didn't take Shador. To me, I didn't like the timing of that. If you really love Cam Miller that much, then just take your guy around or too early and stand by it.
Wait a second. Only because I need to get this in. Ardell, I would appreciate it if you did stay, because Johnny's going to be on after Sharif, and everybody can spout off on what they think. Okay. And Sharif and I agree maybe 30% of the time, but the other 70% we don't agree. Is that kind of like fair?
I would say it's a little more than that.
Okay.
I think in the most important areas we agree. Okay. We may have different interpretations on narratives on things, but I wouldn't be as a regular supporter if all we did was disagree.
Right. I was going to say, Ardell, just please don't go, because I'm going to let Sharif have about how much you think, Sharif? Another 7 minutes?
About 3 minutes, maybe.
Okay,
that's it.
Okay. Thank you. And then I'm bringing on Johnny, and we'll talk again. So don't go, Ardell. I hate it when people go, because I let people talk, and I talk a lot, but I let other people talk. Go ahead, Sharif, hit it. And I'm sorry I had to stop you, but boy, it's like the time was going by. Go ahead, brother. Keep on going.
Yeah, so all I'm saying, Cap, is with the Raiders' recent history of giving first-time starters and backups victories, that alone is caution of concern. I don't care who the opposing quarterback is this week. Our history already suggests how many backups or first-time starters have we made famous.
Yeah.
It's a considerable list. So I really give less than a damn about anyone's bias or resentment towards Sanders personally. All I do know is that it is mighty peculiar that he's finding his first start against us, and most people doing their mock drafts just a year ago and early this year attached him to us.
Yeah.
I didn't make that up.
I got
I
it, but
didn't write that. That's
Sure.
just the facts.
you are a big Shador Sanders fan. I'm not. And again, I think this is what I think. Okay. Take this with a grain of, now, by the way, Sharif is a man of color. He is an African American. And I'm not saying that is a slant, but there is a difference in probably a lot of the opinions of folks that are black. I hate the term African American. I'm sorry. You're black, I'm white. Okay, I'm going to go to what we say, right? I would say that most black folks are of the mind that Shador, I almost said Sharif, Shador got slammed because of color. I say that Shador got slammed because of his attitude and his father pushing a narrative, and it looked bad when he said, well, here, this is your room. This is your victory room. Look at what we're doing to you, and you are the man. And his father pumped him up way too much. If Shador was any better, I would say go to a fucking Power 5 conference and go from when his father left coaching at can't remember where it was, and then he went to Colorado, and he went up in nature as far as the difficulty, and he didn't really do well against great schools there. And then you throw the narrative of what he was doing in the being pumped up, and I'm not going to the combine because I'm so fucking great. I don't need to show my shit. I think that Shador Sanders dropped because of what Shador Sanders did in college, which wasn't great. And
It wasn't horrible either. He led the nation in completion percentage. People can downplay that, but he was still number one in that category.
yeah,
Throughout the history of the league, there's been a lot of quarterbacks who didn't pan out. Some who had Art Schlichter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can go Brady Quinn, you go down the line of Ryan Leaf.
Yeah.
So, he's not some anomaly, but like I said, a kid with his pedigree, I think is worth a shot with someone. It just felt too fabricated and obtuse in the way that it transpired. Like, how does he fall out of favor from being a top 2 or 3 guy, mentioned with Cam Ward, to all of a sudden nobody wants him?
Mm-hmm.
But then again, most athletes like him who don't choose a agent, and at that time he didn't have a established agent, they run into obstacles. Same thing happened to Lamar. If not for Ossie Newsome, a man of color, who traded back into the first round to grab him, Lamar wasn't going to be taken in the first round because his mother was representing him. The same thing that happened with some basketball players, except LeBron James' son, had his father's cachet behind him. So there's more to the business of football than completion percentage, touchdowns, red zone percentage. A lot of it is about who they can make money off of, or sending a message. When you have sports agents and the influence that they wield, it's easy for those type of players to fall in the draft, and you see it time after time. And that partially is why Shador fell. But lastly, Cap, if he happens to prevail this week, I won't be surprised.
He will,
because what the Raiders do historically against first-time starters, and again, we were attached to him more than anybody, more than anybody.
I get that, but here's
just a year ago, brother. Just a year ago.
But here's the thing.
Your friend Mitchell Rentz and everyone else, all I heard was Shador.
No, stop with your friend Mitchell Rentz, okay? But unless you're saying it with air quotes, okay? Because I don't know Mitchell Rentz. I am not a plebite. There's a word, okay? I'm definitely not one of those people that is a Mitchell Rentz watcher. I don't watch Mitchell Rentz. I don't.
TMZ.
Yeah, well, I know that's a bomber's name for him. I'm not one of those guys. Mitchell Rentz is right, just like a clock. You know, twice a day.
Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah.
Okay. But what I'm saying is that don't throw out the Mitchell Wren shit. Here is an indictment of Shedeur Sanders and Howard that played for the Ohio State. I have to say the Ohio State University, because who was his offensive coordinator at Ohio State, Sharif?
You said Howard?
Yeah.
Will
Howard.
Howard.
Oh, I don't follow Ohio State, so I couldn't tell you offhand.
Will Howard, who was on the Ohio State football team and won a national championship with Ohio State, his offensive coordinator was none other than Chip Kelly. So Chip Kelly blew by Will Howard, and we didn't draft Will Howard 4 times, or how many times we had, like in the first, because you said we had a bunch of picks, and we stopped by and we didn't draft Shedeur with 7 picks. That's an indictment on Shedeur. That's an indictment on Will Howard. So there's a lot of that going around. I think that Shedeur Sanders, he's a decent quarterback. I think that he's going to have a ceiling above what Justin Fields has right now. I think he's going to have a ceiling above what Richardson has right now, but I'm still not sold on him. If he's a good player, Sharif, I will say, you know what? I was really wrong on him, but I want to see him play, and then let me be wrong. But I'm saying, okay, the Raiders didn't take him with 7 picks, and Brady was, well, I wasn't brought into the equation. That's bullshit.
Absolutely.
Right. And so if Tom Brady says he's not worth the fucking pick, that's an indictment on Shedeur Sanders as well.
No, that's just Brady's opinion, because Brady might be the best quarterback ever, just like people say Jordan was the best basketball player, but he was shit as an owner and he couldn't evaluate talent.
Right.
So, you know, Brady's opinion, Mr. Broadcaster, is really irrelevant, because a lot of people didn't expect much from him as a 5th rounder. But you can't look at a kid in his face and lie to him or mislead him, and then all of a sudden, when it's time for the draft, you disappear and feign ignorance. Whereas Mark Davis is on film throwing hints at the kid, obviously fascinated. And you had all these rumors about Shedeur going to the Raiders at 6 or 7, wherever we picked that. So if he happens to win, Cap, I'm just going to say things went the way it was supposed to, because karma is undefeated. And yes, I'm a Raider fan.
Wait, before you go, I said, who else were the Raiders courting like a year or so before? We were courting Jaden Daniels, right? That didn't happen either. So just because we brought him into the building doesn't mean we're going to draft him.
Well, Telesco didn't even make a phone. We had less of a realistic chance at Daniels than we had at Shedeur. Shedeur actually fell to us more than once. If that was the direction we wanted to go.
See,
I believe it was up to Mark Davis, it would have been done. But you know, he's not that type of owner. He let the people under him take the reins.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see on that, because were you here when I was talking about where John Spytek needs to make sure, and I will talk to Bomber about this as well, that Spytek needs to be given the not the audacity, but the fucking reins, like you said, he needs to be given the reins and say, I'm the man. Okay. And that's even with or without Pete Carroll.
Right.
Spytek needs to say, by the way, I'm the man. And I'm not telling you how to coach, but I'm telling you, you might want to fucking use the guys that I'm picking for you in the game. And that would be the only indictment I have of that. But hey, Sharif, I do appreciate you coming. You know, I give people opportunities that I don't agree with. I mean, me and Ed Winchell are in.
No, absolutely. All I'm saying is this makes for high drama, because a significant portion of Raider Nation wanted a quarterback. We all know we need one, And
We
some
do.
of us believe Shador could help us in that category. We didn't take him. Now he plays against us.
And he's
So
going
we shall
to.
see how it pans out. But with
He's,
our history,
we're going to
if I was a
lose.
betting man, I say we lose because that's what we tend to do against guys making their starts for the first time.
You know what, Shree, since I'm not in Vegas this week and I can actually use my app here in Florida, I'm going to bet the Browns. Okay. I don't know what I mean, I'm sure that the money, it's like a negative bet. It's a minus bet, I think, or whatever, because I think the Raiders will be plus because they're the ones that that's like the ones that you expect to win, or maybe the Browns I don't remember how to do it, but I'm betting the Browns. You know why? Because the Raiders lose the backup quarterback. Just
Right. On that alone, like you say, it's need for concern, but I don't see us winning another game, honestly, if we can't beat Cleveland. If you just look at that schedule, and I think Kansas City will need that last game to maybe squeeze into a wild card. Depending if they win a couple of more games, they definitely going to need that game. So they're not going to mail it in. The secondary is horrible. And I think a week of Shador being schemed up, getting first team reps finally, and all the world watching, even people who are not fans of either team are invested in this game.
Which is why I have my tickets up for sale. And hopefully
you being the shrewd businessman that you are.
Well, only because a family member had an appendectomy, and I
right.
Because I put that in the post, right?
Yes, that was the disclaimer. I heard it.
Well, wait a second. You saying I'm bullshitting?
No, that would be like, us saying Tom Brady bullshitting when he had nothing to do with the draft evaluation and consultation.
So, Sharif, I'm reading between the lines. You're saying that I'm full of shit.
No, I'm just poking the bear, Cap.
I was going to say, because as bad as we've been, I've been there every game. I didn't go to Denver, and you guys knew that. And as bad as we've been, Johnny's been at every game. Okay. As bad as we've been. And it would have been great to say I was at Shador Sanders' first game. I'm not. And I said, because of a family member's appendectomy, I didn't say appendectomy, but because of surgery, I didn't go this week. Okay. And
right.
I'm not going to LA. You guys knew that. So that's
right.
2 games be missing. So I won't be able to come and see you until December 7th when we will be there for the Broncos game.
Right. And now I'm getting scared about that game, Cap, because we've taken, we played them tough the first time, but
if we don't have
Denver looks even better than that. However, I'm gonna let your friend, he's been waiting so patiently there, take over so you two can carry the show.
I was gonna say, you don't know Johnny Mad Bomber podcast? I told you to follow him.
Yes. The last time he was on, what game was it? I made a prediction of some type, and it did come to pass, and he wanted to screenshot it.
I
hope
sent
he
him
did.
I sent him the screen. Johnny, did you use the screenshot I sent you?
I did.
See? We worked together.
So read between the lines, Cap. I'm like Noah trying to warn you once again. A flood is coming.
Okay.
And behold, a horse named Karma, and its rider was named Shador.
Okay.
I'm just the messenger. Don't throw no stones.
We're good.
I'm just the messenger.
I don't throw. And again, if Shador Sanders has a great NFL career, I'll say, you know what? I was wrong. And I don't say that very often. I usually say I was mistaken because I've never been wrong, right? You know that I never say I've never been wrong. I've been mistaken a couple times, but never been wrong. But I will go out and say, if Shador Sanders has a great NFL career, you can be here to crow. And I let you crow when you're right, correct? I give you credit when you're right, correct? I've never said,
yeah,
and this happened, and I give Sharif Saleh Khan, aka Black Thanos, I give you credit on everything. I don't fucking take credit for shit that was yours. And if you say that Shador Sanders is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, I'll say,
No,
hey,
Cap, don't project. All I'm
okay.
saying is, all I expect is equal opportunity and consideration, and no double standards based on things that have nothing to do with football. And we see too much of that, and the mainstream media won't talk about it, but the element of it is undeniable to people who are perceptive and sensitive to certain individuals who come from similar backgrounds.
Okay.
You know, if you're gonna say a guy's tape is horrible or he hasn't accomplished anything, you know, like winning the Johnny U Award or being the most accurate passer in the nation, and you can't get picked up by nobody by at least by the 4th round, that tells me it isn't about football. There's
And
a message being sent, and
you
I
know
do
what?
believe had he had a standard agent,
I agree with
he wouldn't have fell below second.
I will
But
say that the fact that it was on him and his attitude and his dad pushing it. I agree with that. And as I said that, it was because of what he did and did not do in that order, what he did and did not do in his college career and in the right before he became a pro. It was the fucking bullshit attitude that dropped him in rounds. I agree with that. I agree with that.
attitude didn't stop Johnny Manziel, my friend.
Well, you know what? Johnny Manziel didn't have a fucking father that was pushing on camera, that it was a Hall of Famer, correct?
I can't attribute that quote to Dion, but if he thinks highly of his son, what father wouldn't?
But he's Deion Sanders, man. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, and if anyone has a right to talk, it would be maybe arguably the best cornerback in the history of the game, or at least
Okay.
top 5.
Well, let me ask you a question. Is Bronny James the second coming of his father?
He may or may not be, but what is he, 19? Well, no, about 2021.
I don't know because I don't follow.
Michael Jordan wasn't Michael Jordan until like his 7th year.
Well,
People keep talking about the 6 rings or whatever, but it took Phil Jackson and Scottie Pippen and a team around him before he became this man that everyone still loved, or player, I should say.
I'm hoping that I am around for another 7 years, so I can. So again, you can crow on my show. Yeah, that'll be the one thing. I'm going on Captain's show, so I can crow every week.
I know, but you know, but all I'm saying as far as this week, Black Sunday, if he beats the Raiders, like we tend to lose the first time QBs, don't be surprised. And for him, there may be extra incentive and motivation.
Yes,
because it's his debut. He finally got first team snaps, so he's got a pretty good running back over there. I think Max will have at least 2 sacks, at least. But so will Myles Garrett.
I was going to say
that defense gave Lamar Jackson fits a week ago.
Myles Garrett will probably have 5 sacks with our offensive line. And by the way, it's Kevin Stefanski. You know, I know what you were looking for. It was Kevin Stefanski. You were kind of between the old Cowboys offensive linemen.
Right.
Yeah. But I knew what you were saying, man. I'm just saying. But hey, Sharif, thanks again, brother. And watch Johnny when you can too. I know you watch other people.
All right, bro. Y'all take it easy.
Thanks again. Hey, Sharif, be well and happy Thanksgiving, although I will be on before Thanksgiving.
Okay, then save me some chopped liver.
I don't know what I'm eating because, no, I said the young lady that had the operation is all bent about what we're doing for Thanksgiving. You just had an operation. Don't worry about Thanksgiving. I will get the food. Okay? It's family getting together. But thanks, Sharif.
All right, bro.
Take care. That is Sharif Saleh Khan, a.k.a. Black Thanos. That is Johnny Mad Bomber SUUUUUuza. I put SUUUUUUuza in the title today. SUUUUUuza.
What's going on, Cass?
I'm having fun because it's a Friday show, and I'm not normally. Oh, by the way, I'm on next Friday too, so I'm not going to have one for Thanksgiving for Thursday.
Oh, nice. Good for you.
So we'll have another show. If I know, I will try to. You having one next Friday too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm going to be doing a show from the Black Hole in Sacramento.
Cool.
And Sacramento Black Hole. You know Steven, right? From the Black Hole in Sacramento. I know you guys have those meetings. I know you probably hear so much. I actually had Cisco Ortega on Tuesday.
Okay.
And from the Oakland chapter. He killed it. He just knocked it out of the park. What a great play. And Steven's the Black Hole president out of SAC. So I'm gonna go over there and do my recap show from their spot. I'm looking forward to it. I heard that they have a great place in Shenanigans in Sacramento. I heard it's awesome.
Hey,
So
Ed, here you go. Ed, so you can meet Ed Winchell, hopefully.
okay.
'Cause Ed's in Ed. I'm just saying, Ed, this is where you need to be on Sunday. The Sacramento chapter of the Black Hole for the game. It's Sunday, right?
Not this Sunday. I'm going to be there. I'm actually going to be I'm going to be in Vegas for the Browns game, for the Shadir Sanders games, as you guys were talking about.
Yeah, it's not the Raiders game; it's the Shadir
It's a
Sanders.
Shadir Sanders game.
But
Well,
when we play the Garglers the following Sunday, Ed, come on over to Shenanigans in Sacramento and meet Johnny. And hopefully, I'm not pushing Ed, but it's great to see Ed's great. Ed's got a lot of knowledge. So,
I would love to talk to him because I'm always looking for future guys on my Tuesday shows, my fun show. The Friday nights it's when we do film breakdown, where me and the Oracle go crazy on. Actually, we had a lot of fun breaking down Shadir tonight, and you guys could catch that on YouTube at any time at My Bomber Podcast 3, and it's we did a lot of breakdown on Shadir, and we did a lot of breakdown on their draft choices. The Browns did a very, very good job on their draft last year, and
imagine that they're playing their kids that they drafted.
well, that's in here. You can go ahead and they went and again going into last year's draft, and I know we just had the Shadir Sanders talk. And again, I'm going to go ahead and double down this year. I don't want a quarterback. If Fernando Mendoza's there, you may have to take him, but he's not going to be there. I doubt if he would be there. But even if that, this is going to be the greatest draft class of linebackers and safeties and corners. So we're going to have a really good draft. If the Raiders are smart, they would do what the Browns did last year and draft. If you look at the Browns last year draft, they drafted Mason Graham, who's a really, really good interior lineman. And
I like the other kid better, but and I don't remember
which one.
The other, because he played with them. Graham was a first round pick, but the Grant maybe.
You're puzzling me. I'm not sure, but
he played in Michigan with Graham.
Who did he go to?
I don't remember, but I know that some in here will probably, because they got whoever played at Michigan with Mason Graham. That was a defensive lineman. You'll look it up too. I think he's going to be better.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that's definitely what I did like what they did do, and because I like Ashton Genty, but I was wanting Mason Graham and Quishon Judkins as well. And what the Browns did well is they went ahead and took their second pick and traded down, and they got probably the rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year, Carson Schweizinger from UCLA. And that guy's a beast of a linebacker. And that there was two guys that I wanted on the Raiders this year. So we didn't have to get Devin White and Landon Roberts and Jamal Adams, which, they've done well for us. But Teddy Buchanan out of Cal, I was one of the guys I wanted, who's actually playing for starting for the Ravens and playing well and from the third round. Carson Schweizinger was the second round draft choice. He'll win Defensive Player of the Year, a Rookie of the Year this year. So there's a good what the Browns have done And historically, they've done well with defense. I mean, they brought in Devin Bush, who was just kind of out of his element in Pittsburgh, and now he's playing really, really well for the Browns. And then
Mhm.
again, another one of their draft choices. So Mason Graham's a starting D lineman. That's pick number one. Pick number two, you have Carson Schweichinger, who will be defensive rookie of the year. Um, yeah, they've started 42 quarterbacks. I think we're right behind them. And then
Close.
their third round pick was Christian Judkins, who I think was the best runner in college last year, in my opinion. I mean, I love Ashton Genty, and believe me, I am so happy we have him because I believe there's a lot of potential. But when you lead the league in hits behind the line, it doesn't
And
matter who you have.
that's not, and again, that's not on Genty. It's on to the 5 fuckers that are in
Absolutely.
play.
That's right. And then again, just to finish it out, they have Harold Fannin Jr. He's a tight end they're also playing a lot of 12 personnel, which is 2 tight ends like we do with
So you
Mayer
have
and
and
Bowers.
Joku and this kid, right? And Joku and that
Yeah,
kid.
and Juku and Fannin have been a really, really good double duo, similar to what Mayer and Bowers have. Fannin's one of those guys like an Ian Thomas who can actually block pretty well. And then they went ahead and got Dylan Gabriel in the third round, which I thought was kind of a stupid play. I didn't like his size coming out of college. Then you got Dylan Sampson out of Tennessee, which is a great running back. And again, remember there was a ton of running backs this year. And
Right.
and I really like the way that the Browns went ahead and got him. And then there was Shadir Sanders, pick number 5. We can all debate why he went to number 5, but he was number 5, and that's the way it goes. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's going to have a run with the number 1s this week, and that's going to be great for him because there was some plays and there was some play. What's that?
He's going to play well because he's playing the Raiders.
I believe, well, yeah, and again, I'm not a Patrick Graham guy at all, and again, and I'm not a guy like the guy was telling about the TMZ reporters. I'll never say their names, but I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go ahead and just he's still a Raider, so I'm not gonna. His play calling bothers me. His defensive play calling. I mean, the zone defense. Daniel Jones exposed the Raiders and their soft coverage on cover 3, but that's going to be something that the Raiders are going to have to fix in the offseason. Let's see, for Chip and Genty running 6 balls last week, game for 7 yards, tells me Chip's not adjusting to the NFL. I'm going to go ahead and say you're wrong. Everybody's wrong. We're not going to go ahead and get when your running back leads the league almost by 2 on getting hit behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
How the heck are you going to do it? Now, I'm going to ask you a question, Cap. How many undrafted free agents started for the Raiders on the offensive line this week?
Let me see.
UDFAs. That's guys that weren't drafted in any of the rounds.
Wait. Let me think. I know Meredith and then Putnam. 2 of them were there. I'm not sure where it's Stone. I know Stone.
Yeah, you got the third one. Yeah. So you went into the game with 3 backups at best, maybe third rounders, maybe you got guys that are basically practice squad guys, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and reverse to game. Let's go ahead and watch a game at 10 o'clock called the Chargers versus the Jaguars. Now, the Chargers started the year,
which I loved. I mean, and my son was at that game because he's a Chargers fan, and it was a present. It was like either his daughter or I think it was his daughter, technically stepdaughter, bought him the tickets because she lives in Jacksonville, and it was a present to him to go to the Chargers at Jacksonville game because they know how much he's a great big Charger fan. Awesome. Yeah, he is a big Chargers fan, but he doesn't live and die with them like I do with the Raiders, but he's a big Chargers fan. So, it was just for him to watch that ass whooping. And then, for him to be, we're more emotionally attached to what went on yesterday with the appendectomy.
Yeah.
we're emotionally charged there, but he's a big Chargers guy, and I didn't even give him. I haven't even fucked with him about that yet. Because
Well,
the time is it's gone. You know, it's gone.
Well,
Go
you
ahead.
can't because they started out the season with Rashawn Slater, Mekhi Becton, and Joe Alt, which in my opinion, Joe Alt, if he stays healthy, he's Hall of Fame material. Because when he's on the field, it's impossible to get by him. Ask Max Crosby. Max Crosby got nowhere with them on, and I don't want to hear. Well, Max was always triple and double team. Not against Joe Alt, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
Joe Alt took him to lunch.
Yeah,
Okay. Now let's go ahead and fast forward to 10 o'clock on Sunday. No Joe Alt, no Mekhi Becton, no Rashawn Slater. And at the end of the game, they had to put Trey Lance in so that Justin Herbert, after 6 points, couldn't get killed. Now,
right.
what you're telling me is
By the
that
way,
they need an offensive line for Justin Herbert to throw the ball.
right now, let me ask a question. Did our boy James play?
You know what? He sniffed the play. He sniffed the game. He sniffed it a couple of weeks ago, and no, he's what I would call our healthy Caleb Rogers. He doesn't get to play much. He does come in on punts, and he does come in, and not as a center. He comes in as a blocker on punts. But Sean
Yeah.
Merriman, the guy who is one of the best D linemen that I've ever seen.
He's an
I used to
asshole
hate
too, though.
when he used to do that stuff. I wanted to
Yeah.
just like jump on the field and let him beat me up so that I could sue him. But anyway,
Yeah,
well,
he's a fuck.
his
He is a-
tweet after the game was exactly what I sent was if he can't get protected, he can't throw the ball. And if you've noticed, this has been the big first year that I've actually seen Justin Herbert run the ball a lot.
Mhm.
Now let's go to the 1 o'clock game, the Raider game or the Monday night game. Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly tapped out and went ahead and threw the ball as much as they could because they knew that there's no way they could drop back with Quinnen Williams and
Right.
Ozzy. There was just in Kenny Clark. It was not going to happen. So they did run the play action passes that were working really well to Ian Thomas and then Mike
Yeah.
Mayer and then
Yes.
Bowers and Jack
Yeah.
Best. But at some point, that's one of the plays that got covered. Now, if you're gonna, I do not. If I'm gonna tell you where I stand on the Raiders. I agree with what you were saying earlier, the Spy Tech versus Carroll thing. I think that's real because
Yeah.
I did hear from a very reliable source that, and I don't do that. I'm not TMZ network.
I taught him that, by the way, folks. That's what you say. It's a very reliable source.
Very reliable source. This is very real. That Pete Carroll did not want to get rid of Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
That was a front office move. That was
Yes.
a front office move. And I'll tell you what, John Spytek wore a mask to the Jaguar, to the Jaguar front office and stole 2 picks from him. A third and a fourth for Jacoby Myers?
No, it was a 4th and a 6th.
I mean a 4th and a 6th. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
2 picks.
But-
They got 2 picks. And what I can tell you is that there was a pissed off people in there. Chip Kelly allegedly wasn't happy with that trade either. Now, if I'm the Raider fans, slow down. Slow
Yeah.
down. You're going to go like this. You're going to have John Spytek on your notepad and go like this. All right. What is he going to do in this draft? Okay. He has to buy offensive linemen. We are number one under the cap. We have $119 million to spend. You're
Yep.
going to go in from what I've heard, and Lincoln Kennedy mentioned this, which I think is real right, is guys who really think, and this was on film. This wasn't to me or to somebody, or this is on film. He said JPJ is not a center. And the reason, if you guys can remember about JPJ at the end of the last year and the start of this year, when he got the ball, rid of the ball, he was not very good at hiking the ball back in coverage. And when the quarterback was it was in snap spot. I can't even talk. When the quarterback was in motion, was in back waiting for the ball, he could not. He was always to the right. He always to the right. He said JPJ loves to hit. You need him at guard to go hit. Problem with
Yeah.
JPJ now is he's the second year where he hasn't been healthy. So now you have to get an undrafted free agent in there. So what is JPJ worth to the Raiders right now? That's what Spytek's got to worry about is JPJ a swing guard or is he a starting guard and we need a guard 1A, 2A, whatever. What they would like to see, what Lincoln would like to see, and I agree with this, and I don't like to just pull off everything what Lincoln says because there's stuff that he says that I disagree with sometimes as well. But what he did say is DJ Glaze has such great hands, but he's slow on the outside that they could pull a Frank Middleton and bring him into guard and get yourself a right tackle, which then solidifies that side of the line if you want to go ahead and put JPJ on that side, or you put him back with Colton. So that's one of the things. You definitely need to, I would draft a center and then get somebody your second string centers in free agency, and there's a few. The guy from there's a few out there, but I think you need to draft a center so that because the Raiders were really good at that in the 70s. They went from Otto, they went from Otto, and then they got to Dalby, and then to Mosbar, and that was three centers like within 16 years. That's great. Rodney Hudson was a great center. That was a great pickup by the Raiders. But your offensive line is critical because now this is what happens. Now you can run the ball. You can control the clock. You can throw the ball. How do we know what Geno Smith can do? We've seen what he did in Seattle. We haven't seen that this year because he gets destroyed every time he gets back to throw the ball. What that does to your defense now is your defense isn't on the field for 40 plays a game. You can't ask these guys to run 2 marathons and expect Max Crosby's. He hasn't been healthy the last 2 years. That's why his stuff is output has gone down. Your offensive line, and Jim Harbaugh is the attest to it. You have to build your offensive line. We screwed that up with Josh Jacobs. Don't do it with Ashton Genty.
I agree, but I would actually go by the route of getting the best center available in free agency, and we talked about it earlier, which is Lindenbaum. Right. And this way you get a stalwart center who's like maybe 26, 27. He's young, right? And he's still the best center available. And he is, if he's not an all pro, he's like this version of what we had.
Rodney Hudson.
So if you get him at center and you throw JPJ at one of the guards, and yeah, I can agree with putting Glaze in there. Okay. But
I like it.
But then the thing is, you got Grant. I got you. Okay. If you got Grant at tackle, great. But where do you put Carlos Rogers? Because if you don't use him, or if you don't, and I keep banging, where the fuck is Laki Tassi? The guy is so fucking big that he could block people on accident. He can block people on accident. So if you got Laki Tassi and you got Rogers. Okay. Are you going to throw Rogers in at left tackle? I don't know how big. I think Rogers is a guard. And I know Grant is a tackle. And if you got Miller there, and we do need another tackle. We do need another tackle. And that's why I said, if you're going to have Grant, I want to see what Grant can do.
I think that Spytek does too. And I think that's where the disconnect is right now. Do you think, though, back to Tyler Linderbaum, do you think that he's not going to go back to the Ravens?
No, well, you're gonna have to overpay.
Okay.
Because anybody that you want, you're gonna have to overpay. Period. Because we are the Raiders, and they did that. They've done that in the past. Because the fucking Javon Walker came out here and started the place up, but we overpaid for him. We know that fucking Arsenio Hall, that's what I call him, It was Devontae Hall, but I call him Arsenio Hall. Came out
Dante
here.
Hall.
Right. He made $8 million for 8 fucking games before we fucking cut him.
Now,
It's-
what would you think? What now? Braden Smith is only making $8 million for the Colts this year, and they're going to have to sign Daniel Jones. They're going to. I mean, look, he's going to get money. He's going to get 50 mil. Do you think we could slip Braden Smith from the Colts? He dominated us, and I'll tell you what. And he's only going to be 30.
What
only.
position does he play? What position?
Offensive tackle. He's a big tackle, and he's
Okay.
a big guy. He's a 6'6", 312-pound guy who plays with power. And that's the same kind of size. You're talking about that frame with Joe Alt. That's a Joe Alt style. I don't know how much more we can depend on Colt Miller. If there's a possibility that Colt Miller could be a swing tackle for us at that amount, just because this guy gets hurt all the time, and it's just not one of those things that we want to continue. I was very against what we did with Colton Miller is we paid him at the start of the season, just like we did with Renfro, just like we've done with a lot of guys. And it's like, why are you not letting this guy prove himself? You know what I mean? It's just, I just don't know.
Agree. I
mean,
agree.
and again, so you got Braden Jones, and then you got Rasheed Walker. He's playing for he's a young guy. I think he's 20.
You missed my joke on that one.
Oh,
the only thing about Rasheed Wallace is he gets too many technical fouls, and he fouls out in the first quarter.
And he starts fights
fights, and you have the nice two rights or like band. So I don't want Rasheed Wallace on the team. That was my joke. You
know what? Unfortunately, it's 9:00. Usually, I'm in bed, 2 sheets to the wind by now. I'm an old man. Hey, so anyway, so let's go ahead and finish this offensive line talk because I'm sure we're boring people with it. I'd say the Raiders, if the Raiders, if I'm going to do my Al Davis thing, the Raiders need to not F up what they did with Josh Jacobs and not get him a line. And they try. And now you have Ashton Genty. Don't do to Ashton Genty what you did to Josh Jacobs. Look, get him an offensive line. You got $119 million. $119 million. So go spend that money. And their dead money's coming to an end next year. I think we were still paying Corey Littleton money this last year. I can't believe that thing. That's another Gruden destroy. But I mean, it looks like Walker's going to hit. It looks like these guys are going to get 4 years, $82 million for any offensive lineman. That's going to be the going price. So if you go ahead, that's $20 million a year. That's what you're going to be looking like. Who says, wow, Max might not play? I haven't heard that.
The Bishop who is in Vegas, and like I said, Bishop is definitely up on the Raiders, and also
I haven't heard that. Wow.
Yeah. Bishop, what's your source on that?
Is it Mitchell Renz?
Well, it's Mitchell Renz, and we know it's wrong. Yeah, I am related to Henny Youngman, a Jewish guy with dry droll humor.
Don't talk crap about Henny Youngman. I will jump through that phone. Henny Youngman was the greatest.
Shit. Take my wife, please. You know. Love Henny Youngman.
So I know he had a knee injury, but I didn't know that. I didn't know that was going to be a problem. I'm looking at it right now.
Are you watching like the camp? Was it the practice things? Is it like is it DNP or
no, no. I don't ever. This is Matt Holder. I trust him. It says Jonathan Lulu and the Raiders added defensive end Max Crosby and defensive tackle Lecky Fateau and guard Dylan Parham. Oh, great. Well, if they're putting Dylan Parham, because I know he was a a late addition to Sunday. Um, so that would be, I don't know, I don't see anything here that would say that that's 100%, but I'm sure your guy knows, especially if he's in Vegas, maybe he knows something I don't know.
Okay, Bishop, if you're putting this, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not
I'm
saying you're
not
wrong.
either.
But I would like to have the Vegas tilt of what would you like to come on for a couple minutes? Okay. Would you like to come in and say some of the, because I know when Anna Diaz is also, she's my Vegas inside source. Okay. Okay, see, because Matt Marinovich is saying the same thing. AP says that's the Associated Press, not Antonio Pierce. I want to make sure people know that. Participated fully in practice on Friday. That was today.
I just looked at the report right before I went on my show, and I didn't see anything. So anyway, so back to this game on Sunday.
And
It's
yeah,
cool.
the locker room's an issue. Yes, I know it's an issue, and I know Max is upset, but I don't think. Now, here's the thing. I think he will play, but maybe his heart participation, as in like his, not like I have a bad heart. I get that, but maybe he's not, because maybe he's not all in. I'm sure that there's some issues there.
I
But we'll
couldn't see that with Crosby though. It's like he's not that guy. I just again, here's how you're gonna watch this game this weekend. If you're me, this is what I do.
I'm gonna
Is-
go. I'm actually gonna go somewhere and watch it. I got to figure out where, but I'm gonna watch the game just like I watched the Thursday night Broncos game. It was so nice to actually watch a game.
Oh, you know what? I do like, you know what?
There.
I'm with you. There's times
there.
when there's so much fun sometimes when I'm in my backyard in my pergola watching it, it's like the only thing I can say is that the people at home do not miss the receivers that are wide open. They do miss because they're seeing the feed from the telecast is so again this I'm a geek. I watch all that interior line and then the cover three to zone defenses and stuff and what they're doing, and it's like I don't know if you guys remember the play that CD Lamb on the very first touchdown.
Oh my God! Well, and it's like I didn't realize that both CD Lamb and the other guy who burnt us for a bunch of fucking yards, they weren't even in the first series.
No,
Because
they were out. They got caught drinking. It was George Pickens
Yeah,
and CD Lamb were out drinking late. Well, let me rephrase that because that's an incorrect statement. They were out late. They broke curfew. So they were broke curfew. So they stayed out the first series. And that's the series.
Wilkins, no O-N. Wilkins.
Can't blame Wilkins.
Yeah. It was
Christian
like the
Wilkins?
locker room issues. So can't blame Wilkins this time.
Well, there's smoke, there's fire, but look at you had Cooper come in. He was gone. He didn't even last. And then you got Jermaine Pratt. Didn't even last.
What, 2 games?
2 games. And then he's gone. And now he's playing for Indy. And everybody's trying to say he's playing great. He's playing the way he always plays. He's good, then he's bad, then he's good, then he's bad.
Well, yeah.
He's not a great linebacker, and that's the reason why we should have got Schlesinger and Teddy Buchanan. I was pissed. I was so pissed about that. I really, really love Teddy Buchanan, and he is killing it for the Ravens. And when the Ravens pick you as a linebacker, you better know that you're a damn good linebacker. But I am looking forward to seeing Carson Schlesinger play this weekend because he's really come on as a great linebacker. Back to the Shadir thing, I think Shadir looked a lot more comfortable in the last couple series. I'll tell you one thing that I'm worried about is that we don't, our defensive line's bad. We're ranked one of the last in the NFL. I mean, we have 16 sacks and Miles Garrett has 15 himself. I mean, it's like, it's really sad. If you want to try to compare him to Crosby, there's no comparison. I'm sorry. The last 2 years, whether Crosby's been hurt because he plays too much because our offensive line doesn't keep us on the field long enough, that could be a problem. But I can tell you right now that when you go to watch Miles Garrett, I don't know how they're going to block him. Yeah, exactly. Pickens was literally doing figure eights like Dorothy Hamill. Well, there's a guy that Cap knows that I don't like in the secondary, and I can never pronounce his name well. So that's really a double downer on him.
You want me to say it for you?
Sure.
Isaiah Polamau.
Palomalu. I'm just telling you, that guy is horrible. Horrible. He is like there was a safety we used to play for us. I always forget his name. Especially when I'm on Captain Jack's show. I always forget his name. But this Palomalo is always a step behind, takes horrible angles.
Yeah.
He is just I want to say his name so bad, but I have to bite my tongue every time. I'll tell you what he isn't. He's not Eric Turner.
Thank you.
And he's not Van McElroy.
Yeah.
And he's not the great Charles Woodson, that's for sure. But seriously, Cap, let me ask you, and let me ask your great Palomal is a SF playing FS. True.
Yeah.
So true. And that's why they brought Lonnie Johnson. Him and Lonnie Johnson are both kind of like strong safeties, playing safeties. They're like both doing safety work. Great. That's a great analogy right there. Marinovich.
Matt Marinovich, that's my boy. You know, Matt's in for most of the thing. Let me ask, because I haven't been able to tell because I'm usually like so intent in the game. Now that Lonnie Johnson is playing, I like seeing a 32 out there playing safety, by the way.
Me too. What a great one.
But here's the thing. With Lonnie Johnson coming in and playing safety, whose game time has gone down more, Polamalu or Jeremy Chin?
Darnay Holmes. Darnay Holmes hasn't been on. Jeremy Chin. So what they do with Jeremy Chin, because Jeremy Chin, everybody was so high on this guy, as I was too. Jeremy Chin couldn't cover a cold. Horrible. He's great in the box.
Yeah, that's
but
what he's.
He is lost on coverage. Very, very. In my opinion, I mean, if somebody else thinks that he's good, tell me when you thought he was, because I just pull him out of the game. I love this. Pull him out of the game. I mean, why not? The problem is they don't have anybody. And I've done it on my show. I've done extensive film study on Fridays. Lockie Tyson might get some time now, as we definitely missed the playoffs once again. I don't know.
Bishop, I hope that's true.
I hope you're right. I would love to. He's a huge man.
There's no reason for us not to. Like I said, he'll block somebody on accident. Because he's so fucking big, and he's like, see, person, hit person. That's all we need at this point.
Yeah, you got to eat. He looks like a guy that could eat. I mean, not eat literally, but eat on the field. Like he would take some guys off. But there's definitely, I don't know how bad Patrick Graham's defense cripples the players we have, because Darian Porter has got the best technique I've seen in a cornerback on the Raiders in a long time. You watch Darian Porter's technique. If you guys want to see some good technique, watch Darian Porter. And if you want to text me or email me at the Mad Bomber Podcast at gmail.com, I'll send you some tape on Darian Porter. And it was first noticed by me on against the Redskins. Cancel me, cancel culture. When we played the Redskins, his technique was beautiful. He's got beautiful feet. He's got great hands, and he runs. And in a Colts game, because he was forced to play, he did a wonderful job. He did so well against the Jaguars, and I don't know. I know Kelly had 2 interceptions against the Broncos, and then all of a sudden Porter's back on the bench, and Kelly just got destroyed. And he plays zone defense. He's so soft. It's horrible. He reminds me of the guy you just said earlier, Arsenio Hall. When Arsenio Hall played with us, he was the same guy. Does the same stuff. So that's kind of my.
He was the comedy. He was the comedy for our fucking secondary, which is unfortunate.
Well, he didn't even last long. We gave Atlanta number 2 for him, and then we ended up trading him to the Redskins.
Yeah. $8 million for 8 games, guys. I remember that stat.
And that was back in the 2000s when $8 million was a lot of money.
Yeah, $8 million for 8 games. Okay, so Bishop says that this is his source is. Thank you for clarifying, because I'm an intel guy. I want to know what the source is. So according to Bishop, Fox 5 and the other local news states, and I would know this if I was out in Vegas, but I'm not. And like I said, I am not man of whimsy. I will be out there for the unless I drop dead, because that can always happen. But I will be out there for the Broncos game because I'm going to meet up with
You're
Sharif.
a morbid fuck.
Sharif. I am sure. Sharif, we got to go to Oscars. We got to go to Oscars, get that steak that you're talking about. Because
no, you got to go to the Golden Steer. That's like where the Golden.
Yeah, but I also heard that you need like a 6-month reservation for that. You got to
no, like a 2. Me and my son have tried to go there many times, and they will. You have to have a reservation now. If you go there at 8:30 at night, I heard you can go in there, but yeah. So
okay,
we need to.
I'll try to find my hotel, the Golden Steer.
Oh my God, dude! It's like supposed to be where all the gangsters went back in the day. And I hear in their steak, I heard their steak is second to none. And it's always hard for me to believe that because steaks are steaks. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but from what I understand, they're the best. Okay, Marinovich, we need to see Grant Rogers and Tossie. Well, if you're John Spytek, I guarantee you, Marinovich, you're on his good list. You're going to get Christmas presents from Santa Claus through John Spytek because I agree with that 100%.
And I was going to say Arsenio wasn't a man-to-man cornerback. He was a zone cornerback playing man-to-man, whereas Nnamdi was a man-to-man cornerback playing zone in Philly.
Absolutely. Know what? So whoever said that nailed it.
Sharif.
Yeah. You nailed it. He nailed it.
Arsenio Hall, because that's what I call him. Hey, remember, Sharif, I give you credit for a fiasco. If we talked about fiasco, Thom Fiasco, but you got to remember anybody that talks about Dante Hall, it's Arsenio Hall. Make sure I get the.
I love that. I wish I would have known that back in the day. Yeah, Sharif, you nailed it because when Nnamdi went to Philly, they hated him. I mean, you got to remember, this is Philadelphia. They hate you if you don't produce, and they hated Nnamdi, hated him. Yeah. You know what? And too bad for him. He went for the money, and you know
what? Hey, he's on Broadway right now, and he's doing well. And he's married to Kerry Washington, so that's another thing that doesn't suck. He's married to Kerry Washington, who's awesome. I mean, she's hot, and he's on Broadway as an actor. She's hot.
Well, that's awesome for Nnamdi. I mean, he is a pretty decent looking guy there. So Cap, what?
Real quick, I hate doing it because I got a tap for a couple seconds. Being an old man, we're into close to hour 3. So
I got you.
So I'm gonna go off camera for a second. So I want you to do what you need to do.
It's called filibust.
Yeah, do that. Okay, I'm gonna.
Oh, look at that! I look pretty good in the middle of this thing. So, guys, real quick, while he's gone, I'm gonna go ahead and say, go to YouTube and go to Mad Bomber Podcast. If you're a geek like I am, if you like film study like I do, our Friday night shows are huge. We are geeks. Now on Tuesday nights, it's when we have the fun nights, and that's when we have like I like to do a lot of black hole guys. I have two rock stars coming on Tuesday to talk about Raiders, big Raider fans. They'll be there, and it's on YouTube at Mad Bomber Podcast. So we will be on there. And if you are a film geek, I am me. I have a young guy who will blow your mind away. I call him the Oracle, and we go over everything. We went over Shadir Sanders tonight in detail, in total detail about what Shadir Sanders is. As far as Shadir Sanders goes, I think he's going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. I'm not going to say that he's going to be a Super Bowl winner, but if somebody was to work with him, he's got some good moves. He knows how to get out of trouble a little bit. The problem with Shadir is like a young quarterback in the NFL, and he had this problem in college as well. Is like he holds on to the ball a little bit too long. He's got to get that time clock in his head. 1,000, 1,000, and boom, get rid of the ball, or boom, won't start running. He's a little bit more elusive than I thought he was. Last week, he did a couple of great spin moves, and the guy can throw the ball on the money. So don't be surprised with the defense, with the zone defense that we run.
Number one, Sharif. I don't ever tap out for number two. Never.
Oh, he did. But real quick, I'm doing my Shadir. Shadir Sanders is not a bad quarterback. Should he have lasted till fifth? That's a debate for everybody to do. I'm not going to get involved in that debate because you know what? It just doesn't make sense to get involved in there. But I can tell you right now, if I was the Raiders, I would have grabbed him in the fourth round. I would have definitely, if he was available in the fourth round, I would have took a flyer on him. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't think he's in college. He was very accurate. But again, like Cap said, he played at Jackson State and then he played in Colorado. And that was the knock on Genties. He was playing. He wasn't playing in the SEC. Yeah, he wasn't playing in the SEC, so he wasn't seeing SEC talent. But at least his offensive line could open up holes that the Raiders cannot. But back to Shadir, and I'm going to end with this. I could see Shadir having a big game just because.
Oh yeah,
they're going to have. Well, they'll do with Shadir what Daniel Jones did. Hit the quick passes. Hit the tight end over the middle, and they've got two that we talked about. Two tight ends in Joku and Fennell they can go to. Both of them are very, very capable, and he can come with Quishon Judkins. He's another guy that can run, and Quishon Judkins has kind of like Isaiah Pacheco feet. He stomps. He runs hard. He's a hard runner. I wanted him on the Raiders. I liked Quishon Judkins. And again, I do love Ashton Genty, but I would have taken Mason Graham and Quishon Judkins too.
I would have taken Armand Membo.
Sure. The only knock on him was that he had shorter arms. But you know what? There was a lot of guys who also said that his tenacity was better than Will Campbell's. So you know what? Again, this draft is not big on offensive linemen. There's a couple of guys that are okay. Fanu is probably your top guy, but again, he doesn't play in the SEC. So there's another.
Who's the guy that plays at USC that people were pumping, like number 77 or 75? He looks like
I don't know.
He looks Samoan, he looks, I should say, Asian Pacific Islander.
Are you talking about the guy Laula from Oregon, not USC?
No, he's on USC because I saw a thing on him, and we got some folks that are Pac-10 guy or whatever they fucking call that. Well, now
he's not in the top 20 because I know that because I've seen them.
But there is a guy that plays for USC that plays offensive line that everybody is high on. It's like this is who we need on our offensive line, and he just, how you get like this guy destroyed this guy? Yeah, one play. One player.
Okay, Justin, are you talking about Justin Tuna?
I don't know. I don't know his name.
Because I don't have much on him, and again, I apologize because I don't have
Yeah,
anything in front of me. But I'll tell you,
Asian Pacific Islander because the hair, and again, sorry for non-racist.
you're not being a racist. You're telling exactly what he is.
Right.
If they don't like it, then go talk to the Redskins.
Right.
But yeah, I don't have him on my list right now of guys I'm watching. But I'll tell you who I do like from there is Gentry, the linebacker from USC. He's awesome. That's a guy that you want to watch.
There's also a linebacker that plays for the Ohio State University.
Arville Reese.
Thank you. That people are saying that we should draft in the first
He's not
round.
going to make it to us because Tennessee's not going to get a quarterback, and Tennessee will get the first round pick unless something crazy happens. They will take Arvell Reese, but I'll tell you who my number 2 wish list is for the Raiders is Caleb Downs. He's a Palomalo type kid from Ohio State, true football player. He plays about 34% of his snaps in right around the line, but he also can play. He can play back a little. He is freshman year for Alabama. He did really, really well as a safety, and he's just grown ever since. Caleb Downs is if I was to pick, because Arvell Reese is there, absolutely. You got to jump on him. Got to jump on Arvell Reese. He's a generational linebacker, but there's a ton of linebackers. This draft is filled with linebackers, and if you come on, I don't have my list in front of me.
Oh, and that's right, and that's why I said if this is not a good year for offensive linemen, because I said
it's not. It's not.
I said was we need to get 2 offensive linemen in the draft first round. It's because I don't look at the fucking draft board shit. I don't. I tell you what we need. So
but you don't want to draft when it's a shitty year.
Which is why I quantify it and said we need to get the fuckers in free agency because we need to get the guys to go. And that if we get Lindenbaugh at center or one of these other big fuckers that play guard and tackle, we need two offensive linemen in free agency.
You need a tackle and a center, and I love that. I love Lindenberg, and I can tell you right now, I would love to. I really would like to see them put JPJ next to Colton Miller, and then switch Glaze into guard because I really don't want the Dylan Parham experiment to last any longer. I just watched tape of the Dallas game where he got blown up by a safety.
Well, here's the other thing. I want, because I've been saying it, I want Rodgers and I want fucking Lockie fucking Tossie. And you know what? If you could teach Lockie Tossie how to play center, then maybe we don't need Lindenbaugh.
Yeah, he's a big boy. No, you know what? I like Lindenberg. And you know what? Again, I always want to draft the center.
We need Lockie Tossie on this fucking offensive line.
Well, Cap, I'm going to wrap this up. You got me for 9 more minutes. I'm going to say the keys to the game, and I want to listen to your keys to the game.
Wow. Okay. We are playing the Browns. The keys to the game, in my estimation, is that our defense is going to, because our defense is going to have to make Shedeur Sanders look like the rookie that he is. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because he is a rookie. He only has 1 week of practice. Okay.
Right.
So we need to make sure that we are not dictating, that because the Browns defense, I believe, is the number 2 ranked defense in the NFL. I believe is what the stat was. So
they're high in takeaways.
Right. Our offense is not going to be able to make a lot of points. Okay.
Nope.
So our defense needs to make sure that we pickle Shedeur Sanders. And oh, by the way, some turnovers like we had in the first fucking quarter against the Cowboys, where we got 3 fucking points off of. Bullshit.
Well, that's not going to change this weekend. The only reason that in I think that the only way we're going to score a touchdown this week is a broken play, and it's not going to be a drive. You're not going to drive on these guys. There's
Well, that's
no
why I
way.
said if you get a turnover deep in the
Absolutely.
zone, then turn it into a touchdown. Okay. Because it's going to be a lot of field goals for us, which is what we're used to. I don't think, I mean, it used to, like Sharif was on there saying, you know, like Derek Dallas Carr will march down the field until he gets to the 20-yard line and it's fucking impenetrable. And we end up getting Carlson field goals. And by the way, Carlson's probably, he was signed when? 2 years ago?
No, he's been there since
No,
he kicked the game.
on a big
Oh,
contract.
re-signed. Yeah, he's re-signed.
He re-signed on a big contract. I don't think he's going to be here next year, depending upon what that contract stipulates.
I don't know, man. You look in the NFL and there's nobody out there. And when you got guys, look, you got guys like getting Cairo Santos his third shot, and then do you want Jake Moody? Fuck that. I'm telling you right now, Carlson will be fine, and he's just going through a bad streak. Remember, Janikowski did too about 3 years before he retired. Went through a little bit. I'm okay with Carlson, and I get in real early to the game.
I'm not. Like I said, I'm not one of these. He's the first person that has to go.
No, you can't. You got. He's been reliable enough. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. I mean, he has lost us 2 games this year before, but like right now, the Raiders are on the money line, or is a minus 198 to win the game. That's not very that's not very like that's something that's they're not putting a lot of stout into the Raiders winning. They're a 3.5 point favorite, but the over under is set at 36. So they are definitely think this is going to be a 17-17 game.
Yeah, low scoring for sure.
It's going to be a low scoring. And again, I don't see the Raiders scoring many drives on there. The only team that I feel like that can run the football would be Quishon Junkins against the Raiders. I don't think Ashton Genty's going to run against these guys. If I'm the Raiders, I think I would go back to what they were trying to do in the Dallas game. Do the play action, have Geno under center, play action, flood a zone, and either try to get Bowers or Myers the ball, and then maybe try to do a little pick plays for Trey Tucker. And I think that's a good thing. But if you're John Spytek, don't you want to see Jack Besh and Deontay Thornton get the ball too?
Yes, as I said, you can't bag on them for being shitty. If we need more chance to see them. Which is why I was really happy to get rid of Jacoby Meyer. I mean, I hate saying happy to get rid of, but it's like Jacoby didn't want to be here. We got 2 picks for him. I wanted him out of the wide receiver room, and we got Lockett, who actually wants to be here and has a good rapport with Geno. Providing
he runs great routes. He runs really great routes. I showed that tonight on the show too. Yeah, he runs really good routes.
And I want to see more of Jack Besh. I want to see more of Thornton, right? And I want to see more of Thomas. I want to see three tight end sets, because if we're not going to run, at least start pounding the pass. I know that's how we pound the ball, but pound the pass, and then we can throw like a jet sweep on them. That can be like our running play, right? Or that when you put Genty in the game, run them to the fucking outside and away from Myles Garrett.
Well, you know what? So when the Raiders do that 12 and 13 personnel, when they bring in all 3 of the tight ends, okay, you got to remember, when you got all those tight ends crushed in, that's where the defenders are crushed in too. So it's like if you run those sets all the time, it's going to be hard for Genty to run. That's why that's why they bring in Lockett and they bring in Thornton to kind of spread the defense out to see if they can get Genty a couple. But it's just really, really, really tough for the Raiders offensive line. When your best lineman is DJ Glaze, and this is a second-year guy, and no knock on DJ Glaze. I think he's a decent lineman. And then Stone Forsythe, you're talking about Stone Forsythe as your number one tackle too. I mean, you're
Remember
in trouble. You're in trouble.
Remember in the movie they said don't throw it to Stonehands? It's like don't run it to Stonehands' side, So I'm running like the movie, So instead of running, don't throw it to Stonehands. Don't run it to Stonehands' side. I have to stretch on that one. But it's
Well, Jack, I'm going to let you go, but before I go, I'm going to give you my prediction. I think this is going to be I think this is going to be 13-10 Raiders.
You think the Raiders are going to win? Wow.
I do. I think 13-10 the Raiders. I think that and I can tell you right now, I would not be surprised by the end of the game if we see Kenny Pickett. I think that Gino's going to get hurt.
Yeah, and you know what? If Gino gets hurt bad enough so that he doesn't play next week, Ed Winchell wins $100 because he has a bet with Jimmy Farrell for $100 because Jimmy Farrell said that Gino's going to play all 17 games.
Yeah, if he's healthy, he will, but he's not gonna.
That's what I'm saying. If he's healthy, he will, but I don't think he's going to be healthy.
No, and he's gonna get destroyed in this game. And I could tell you, if anybody was to watch my show tonight, go back tonight after tomorrow with some and the next day.
Mad Bomber.
So I'm gonna. I want you to watch the film that I show where Genty gets the safety, and you're gonna watch how bad the offensive line is.
I still think that he got out of the end zone.
Oh, I don't think so. I was Cap. I was right there. That's where I stand. He was.
Okay.
He look. Yeah, you have to watch. But anyway,
not him, but the ball out of the end zone.
Oh no. It was bad, dude. That penetration was bad. It was bad. The linebacker came in untouched, right over the right tackle. Came in right untouched, and Will Putnam was on his ass. Willie Putnam. They calling him Willie now, buddy. Willie
Putnam.
Will Putnam is your starting center, and you want your rookie to fucking run behind that line again, fellas. It's not Pete Carroll, it's not Ashton Genty, it's not Geno Smith. It's a little Geno Smith. It is Will Putnam. It is Jordan Meredith. It's DJ Glaze, and it's Stone Forsythe. And those are 3 undrafted free agents in there. That means that everybody who was pissed off at Shadir Sanders not getting drafted where he got, these guys never even got drafted after 7 rounds. They were signed after everybody got drafted and got paid. They're getting league minimum. You got league minimum guys right there, fellas.
Yeah.
So, well, all right, Cap, I'm gonna let you go. I'm going to bed. I'm gonna go, and then I gotta go dominate pickleball in the morning.
Well, you dominate pickleball. I'm going to be ending the show. It's a 3-hour show, and I appreciate everybody as well being here. And we remember, go watch the Mad Bomber podcast. That guy, Mad Bomber podcast. Remember, next Friday I will be here because I'm not doing a show on Thanksgiving. Okay, but I'm pretty sure that Wednesday night. It's going to be Peggy on Wednesday night, and so we'll yell at each other on Wednesday night, and then I might do something Tuesday, so it'll be Tuesday. But yeah, yes, we need a better O-line. Yes, I've been saying, which is if we do get rid of Pete Carroll, that's the only thing I can think of.
Does anybody out there wants to bet me? The only way Pete Carroll's going to be leaving is if he retires.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
He's not going to get fired.
If he retires, that's what I'm saying. I didn't say fire him.
Right.
But if they get rid of Pete Carroll by saying, Pete, take a powder, just retire.
Yeah. And that could happen. And that could very well happen. You know what? He could go ahead and he could ride into the sunset and just say, fuck this, I'm done with this stuff. And that could happen.
The new coach will not retain his 2 fucking son flunkies.
Well, yes, but I don't think that Brendan Carroll's going to survive. I can tell you right now, if I was a betting man, and I am after November 1st on the NFL, I can tell you right now that Brendan Carroll will not be back next year. No way.
Good,
No way.
because we need Joe Philbin to fucking do the job.
Well, Joe Philbin's there, and they're still not doing the job. So
I
if
know
I,
that's what I,
you know who I would get. You know who I really would get.
well, but the
is-
guy I'm saying the guy that's there that should be doing the job is Joe Philbin, but he doesn't have a lot of good players.
I would say if you're going to go get somebody, go back and get Callahan. He just got whacked. Callahan got whacked in Tennessee.
I don't think Callahan will come into this place because of his remarks about the stupidest team in football in America.
Well, you know what? That was definitely the truth, though.
I get it, but you don't say that.
I know.
I mean, what I'm saying, he is the best offensive line guy. Yes, he is. He is. But what I'm saying is he won't come to the Raiders because of that. Because I don't think Mark. I was going to say, was Al still alive? I can't remember if Al was still alive for that Super Bowl or the next year.
Yeah, he was. Al didn't die till 2010. So
Right.
He was.
So if Mark wants to get a great offensive line guy, I agree. Bill Callahan would be the shit.
Yep, I like him. All right, buddy. I'll talk with you later.
All right.
Have
Hey,
a
thanks
good
again.
one.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Good.
Anytime.
Be here
Anytime.
Friday. And watch. Here, I'm going to take it. Watch. Here it is. Wrong finger. Mad Bomber podcast. Watch this guy.
Especially if you're a geek. If you're a geek, like I am, look at these glasses. I am a geek. You will love my podcast if you're a geek. If you're not a geek, you're not going to love it.
Actually, Bishop, we talked about this, but while you were away, we talked about Lindabaugh is available at center. All
right, man, I'm going to let you go.
Okay. Thanks again, Johnny. Take care. That's Johnny Mad Bomber. He'll get there. You go. Cody Lindabaugh, I believe is his name, is the best center available. And then there's a guy on the Colts. And there's Rasheed something. I call him Rasheed Wallace, but it's not Rasheed Wallace. It's Rasheed something. He's available. Those are, I was going to say, we need 2 of those free agent offensive linemen. Not 1. Not 1. 2. And then you see what else we got going on. So that's what's going on. Okay. Folks, I appreciate you being here. It is 12:35. I'm up. I'm going to be turning off. Thank you for viewing. Again, this is not like that. We were already talking about, some person whose name I won't mention who gets 6 million views. This is not that show. This is me and you talking, and me screaming. But I appreciate everybody that's here. I appreciate everybody that's here. Thank you for my loyal viewers that are here. And if the new viewers are there, I appreciate it. So again, thanks again. We will see you Sunday after the game. Take care.